What's up, guys? Welcome to the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by the best hair in the business, Fran Mirabella III.
Taking over for Greg Miller today.
I love it,
I
man.
guess I get to sit in the seat.
Mr. FM3 himself. Yeah. How's the Twitch going?
It's good. We played some Division last night because the Warlords expansion is out, and that was awesome. A bunch of people came by. Thank you. And I know some friends out there picked up the Epic Game Store creator code Fran Mirabella copy as well. So shameless plug, my friends.
You need to do
That's
it.
how we do it.
You'll love to see it. The former Imran Khan.
I really miss Fran's hair.
Yeah, right? You guys haven't been together for
It's
been a while.
It's been some time.
Like a month and a half.
It's been a fun, and of course we have the new phase of video games.
Hi. Hello, it's
Blessing,
me.
Adeoye
You're
Jr.
old news now, man.
It's like the old faith.
But I love this though. We've never had the four of us on a show.
Are we
yet.
not?
No,
I don't
we've
think
never
so.
had this dynamic.
Not
Because
just
normally
us
we have
four.
Greg, or like we.
Oh yeah, Greg's always here
been
messing things up.
Yeah, exactly. It's been an interesting year though because we're doing the topics, so we try to get like the right people for each show and stuff, and it's been fun. I like changing it up.
Variety.
Never knowing what I'm gonna get.
Spice
you know
of
what I
life.
mean? It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Shout out to all of our Patreon producers for helping make this show happen. Mohammed, James Hastings, Evan Ballard, Steven Insler, Sancho West Gaming, Duval King, Jabab. Agent Cody Banks himself, Trent Barry, Max Blair, Julian, the gluten-free gamer, Tom Bach. I love that he's like making his own like
Branding,
little nicknames there. Tom Bach, Nano Support, Michael Bradley, and Joseph O. Yusuf. But this is the Kinda Funny Games cast each and every week right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. We get together, talk about video games, all the things that we love about them. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on roosterteeth.com, or you can listen to it by searching for Kinda Funny Gamescast on your favorite podcast service. And fun new announcement. After a couple weeks of doing all the first impressions and stuff on the Gamescast feed, we realized that there is actually a much bigger demand for that than I expected. So we made a new podcast feed for it. Search for Kinda Funny First Impressions on your favorite podcast service to get that as a separate feed, so that now everybody just knows what they're getting there. Fun stuff. But please give us nice reviews. Please give us a thumbs up. 5 stars or I don't want it. Okay? None of that bullshit.
Fair enough.
What else do we got to do? You get the show ad-free, and you can get the exclusive post show by going to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Today we're brought to you by Upstart, Manscaped, and Omax Health, but we'll talk about that later. Let's get into the big topic of the day, gentlemen. What gaming franchises need to come back from the dead? One of the most requested topics.
Really?
Just period, ever. Anytime we're like, hey, what should we talk about on Gamescast? I think that this is like the number one question.
People
asked.
like to reminisce.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing I've learned about people. People love to
Nostalgia.
look back. People love nostalgia.
Hell of a drug.
Nick at Night.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
Exactly, yeah.
The first thing I'm looking for on the show is the person, because we are exacted this way, to your point. You're going to pick a game that probably makes no sense to play in a modern day with all the advancements, but you want it so bad. And who's going to be the first to ask for that?
Yeah.
If at all on the show, I feel like somebody will do it.
Well, there are a couple
Is
of
that,
ones
wait,
that
there's a specific game you're thinking of?
No, but just meaning like somebody will be like, bring back this game that totally is not that relevant, but I loved it, and they don't even know like how it would play in today's like modern realm.
Well, yeah, there are a few games
Those-
on here that are like dream games that I would love to bring back
They
due
can
to
make
nostalgia.
dreams.
Or like whatever.
Or
Like,
dreams.
this probably isn't on anyone's list, but like Beetle Adventure Racing, it was fun and all. But
was
like,
fun.
Yeah.
I looked at that and I was like, I don't think that.
But do you
Beetle?
I mean, let's
Beetle
start with
cars.
that.
Let's start with that.
Yeah.
What would you do for Beetle Adventure Racing? Because
Oh
like
no, I cursed myself.
it could just come back and just be like an HD remaster or something.
Burnout Paradise, but Beatles.
I mean, Beetle Adventure Racing was just a fun action arcade racer, and it was just like
What was it? Because I've never heard of it.
you were an
It's
actual
an
Volkswagen
N64
Beetle.
game that just had no right being as good as it
Who
was.
made that? I want to say it was
Oh.
someone like relevant that
I
They
might
were pretty good.
know this game.
It was just a good racer, and you just race through tracks in, as I recall, very much like open adventure-esque
They were
environment.
huge
and-
maps.
Yeah,
Like that's what made it special. Is the laps lasted forever.
Yeah.
But like that, it was at the end of an era of the N64 that had the Cruisin' series, Cruisin' USA, and Cruisin' World, Cruisin' Exotica, all that stuff. But then there was also the San Francisco Rush series.
Yeah, I
And
almost
feel
put that
like
on my list.
All those happened, but then Beetle Adventure Racing kind of
So
came
I-
out and
now-
like topped them all.
Now that I see like the images for it and like
you kind of remember.
I
seeing
remember
in
it when you were saying Beetle Adventure Racing. I was thinking actual beetles, like the bugs racing.
You'll love to see it.
You'll
And so
love
I
to
was like,
see it.
oh shoot, this game sounds awesome. And I looked at it, I was like, oh okay.
it was
no.
John Lennon, Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
The Beatles racing.
That was the thing, man. Like, it was good because it was like decent tracks. The racing mechanics were fun, and in a 3D environment back then, all those were achievements. Which today you need to be a lot more clever than just nailing those basic
I'm gonna throw
aspects.
this out there. N64 had a lot of really good arcade racers.
Yeah.
That, San Francisco Rush,
Do we
Mickey's.
count
You
Wave
gotta
Race
give the cruises
64?
No, you don't. You don't.
Dude,
Can we
Cruising.
count? Oh, I didn't even put that on my list. I just
Wave
was saying,
Race?
Wave Race
Wave Race.
64.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, that's number one on my list.
Number 1 on your list.
Yes.
Wave Race.
Blue Storm was amazing, and Wave. Okay.
Do you think Wave?
Okay.
Do you
Do
think,
you guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
When you hit the
Oh my God.
checkpoints.
I was so bad at Wave Racer as a kid
Anyway.
because I didn't understand it. I was like, why do I have to stay on
Yeah.
a certain side of the buoy or whatever it's called?
Blue Storm was legit an amazing, like, physics-based water racer.
What the fuck was it about the GameCube that the water was so
I don't know.
impressive?
Dude,
Like,
the N64 water was
Mario
Because it was
Sunshine.
Yeah.
Tim.
I was
it
actually
Project
reading-
Dolphin.
You're
had to
right.
be.
You're right.
They had actually the graphics chip, I believe, is called the Flipper chip, code name.
Flipper, the dolphin.
Yeah.
So, like, do you think there's a way for Wave Race to come back and make waves?
Makes I thought you were gonna say make a splash.
Or make a splash?
I'm loving the
Dude,
energy today.
actually, like, no, I didn't even, like, I don't know why it escaped me on the list. And as we were talking about N64 racers, and I thought about it, I totally think it would be an awesome game. I think the problem is, like, do you want a Ski-Doo branded, like, how would you do it in a way that it could sell? But I do think the game legit would be awesome. Like, Blue Storm was dope because you would get into, like, you'd have, like, Chop, and the physics, this was back in, like, 2002 or whatever. It was 2002 or 3.
2001.
And then you'd get into these huge waves, and that's what made Blue Storm different. Is you'd just be like crashing. It would be so hard to make it through certain areas. Sometimes it'd be a city track, and there'd be like a huge Titanic-sized
Yeah.
ship, and the wave physics were brilliant. They really made you time your jumps. It was kind of like Excite Bike, right? Where you'd have the little chop, and you'd have to nail it, and then you'd have big chop. I think you could totally pull it off, and
So,
it'd be tons of fun.
Was it Blue Storm that had the code that made the announcer mean to you?
I didn't know.
It's
I
either
didn't
Blue Storm or Wave
probably.
64 that, like, you put in a code and the announcer would just, like, demean you for doing badly.
Was it the same announcer as
That's
N64?
hilarious. So I have a pitch
Sorry.
here because
That
the
was a weird
time about
tangent.
bringing back old franchises, like, well, how would we modernize it? Wave Race seems a little too simple for Nintendo to actually put the time into making that a $60 title. It's not above them
Why do you
because
say
it's
simple?
Nintendo. So hear me out. Hear me out. I just feel like it's a great game, but I just don't know if for modern audiences that makes sense as a full-fledged title.
Well, I mean, Mario Kart
but-
8 is one of their best-selling games.
Yeah, but that's
That's
different.
like a premium
I'm-
Nintendo game.
I'm looking for Tim is why you don't think it makes sense for modern audience because it's the wave race,
just the type of game it is, where it's
the
just
vehicle,
like it's
Like,
or that it's a
I think
racing
it's like
game.
the
period.
lack
a racing
of
game.
content.
Period.
That's what I'm getting at. You think it's
But I
just
think
like
Mario
an
Kart's
arcade
different
racer.
because there's a lot more elements
Yeah,
to it.
Mario
and
Kart,
and
you can
Mario.
change up every track regardless of how, like, you... Mushroom
Exactly.
Kingdom is very varied.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Wave Race, it's like, oh, this is water.
And how much content are you going to be able to jam in?
check this
in
out.
there?
So N64 had a ton of these amazing games, right? Then the GameCube kind of had the refined versions.
Yeah.
Then once we got to the Wii, everything went out the window, and it's like, cool, we have like Wii Sports, and it's just like a bunch of different games together, right? Or we play all the different Wii collections. What if we got back to that, but instead of making it the like super anyone can do it, go a little bit on the more hardcore side? And what if we got a Nintendo kind of sports package game that includes Wave Race and includes 1080 snowboarding and includes an Excite Bike type thing where it's like
I don't know how to
don't treat
pull
them like mini games, but treat it more just kind of like
Nintendo Land.
yes, but full featured, but
More
just
features
like
than
You're,
Nintendo Land.
you're thinking of like the Mario Sports pack. I forget what it was called. There was one that came out on
But
Wii.
Mario
U,
Sports
but,
Mix.
but good,
But
yeah.
good.
Well, it's a little like the idea behind the Olympics, but like,
I was going to say Orange Box, basically.
or well, that was actually 3 complete games.
It
but
was.
that's what I was
but,
going to
like,
get at, Tim. Is
that's the idea.
as
But I
long
mean,
as you
yeah,
promise
yeah.
me that they don't become half-assed or
I
quarter-assed,
don't want
that
half-assed.
each one is the physics are all as
Yeah.
incredible as they were with
I think-
all the score systems and everything.
Like a
and then I
collection
get
of-
all 3 in one. Holy crap!
Yeah, I
you
think
just
the
blew my
idea
mind.
is, hey, we're gonna make 3 polished experiences
Dude.
that aren't necessarily
Yes.
like filled to the brim with content, but
No, I want
you're
that
gonna
too.
you're gonna love what you're playing.
Here's the shit we can't
Yeah.
sell for $60 on its own.
Exactly.
It's in one box.
but good enough. Not just good enough.
Ah.
Amazing. Yeah, but like
it's got to be great.
maybe if it's just because I feel like there are similar elements between Wave
Yeah.
Race and 1080.
Totally.
At
Even
the
Excite
very
Bike.
least.
It was the same developers.
You
I
did
think.
say
Yeah.
Excite Bike too, right?
Yeah.
All in one. Yeah.
But it's like, imagine if they kind of found a gameplay system that actually works for all 3, and then you have one cast of characters that you can choose that go through each of the different types of races, like 2 Extreme and 3 Extreme on the PlayStation, but good because it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Extreme
what
Sports
was-
games weren't great at all.
What was the wannabe competitor on PlayStation?
Jetmoto.
Jetmoto.
Yeah.
I know some people probably like Jetmoto, but
Jetmoto is one of those
sorry.
things where it has a very fond place in my heart.
Of course.
But God, those games aren't good. And they
Nothing
have aged
like
even worse.
The Blue Storm was pinnacle work. That was from the Digipen.
NST.
Yeah, NST. That came out of Digipen. And man, they're still doing stuff, I think, in the background over there. But anyway, I just got so excited.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
didn't-
call
I
it
don't know how I missed that
Nintendo
one.
X. The X is for Extreme.
Nintendox.
As long as you get full
Nintendo.
fledged stuff.
Oh, well,
I want it
that's-
full-fledged. But you see what I'm saying? I just feel like
That'd be a
those...
huge, massive game, in my opinion. I think it's impossible. Meaning, I think in your mind,
Then fine, just 2. It's just 1080 and Wave Race.
yeah, okay, winter, summer, something.
That would actually, I think,
You know,
but
be awesome.
tons of huge mountains, and then also like
gotta
all
s-
these locales. That you
Saying
go
this,
to.
and like, what comes to mind for me is like, what if you just had steep with like water races as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
but,
that-
but with Nintendo charm.
in that, like,
Yes,
like the
no.
more
Like,
arcadey than
that
steep.
kind of idea, I think you could sell for $60.
Okay,
pretty
actually,
easily.
now I'm liking this, and we go a step further.
This thing has been totally
and there's a
derailed already.
mode where you actually get to the bottom of the mountain, and it starts to like warm up, and then you like hop on your like wave race, and you get right
see?
into that, and then it's like a marathon type thing. Dude,
Or
I'm
you're just
excited.
on the mountain, it gets real hot, the whole mountain melts. And then you got a Wave Race, guys.
We need to make these games.
I'm in, man. I'm in.
Y'all lost me at a certain point. I'm gonna
What?
what up?
Get
Give me a game.
Kickstarter.
Oh man, let me open up my
Beaming
list.
with excitement after. Holy crap! Couldn't have started it better. I'm buying it.
All right,
But I literally am so excited thinking about this.
a
Wave
game
race.
that should come back, or a franchise that should be brought back. I have one that I really want to get out there, but I'm gonna save that because that's like my
He's
personal.
got like a whole pace
Your
to
October
his
surprise.
bangers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Pokemon Stadium. I feel like Pokemon Stadium should come back. I don't understand why it's not a thing.
Comes Tim.
Because
has
they
it-
have the games looking nice already.
Yeah, but I'm talking more so like I just want to fight Pokemon. Like I just want to do like 6v6 battles with my friends, and I'm not too invested in the Game Boy games. I like them fine, but I just like the idea of going into a menu. We each pick teams of 6 and then we battle. And also there's mini games.
Look at Tom. Sushi.
Oh yeah, look at
Yeah, no.
sushi.
Make that.
Just make the
Pokemon
magic
minigame
cards jump.
collection is Pokemon puzzling. Just bring that back.
That too. I mean, put
Dang
that
it!
in there.
Why you gotta ruin my list? Let's get to that later. It's on the list. We'll get to it.
An
later.
alternate idea is also like a Pokemon game mix that is like here are the mini games from Pokemon Stadium, but also here's Pokemon Snap, and then here's Pokemon Puzzle League, and just have like a Pokemon mini game collection. That'd be awesome.
It is weird to me they've never done Mario Party with Pokemon.
That is kind of weird, actually.
Like, why not just have a thing like here's all what fucking 800
Ship
Pokemon
it.
that you can choose from for your like player character.
Excuse
Then
me, there was Pokemon Sorry, and that was great.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, the
sorry,
board
like the
game
board
like the
with
actual
Pokemon.
board game?
But with Pokemon.
But it
Oh,
was
of
like a
course.
board game, right?
And Pokemon Monopoly.
Yeah, I was gonna
game.
say, wasn't Pokemon Monopoly a thing?
Pokemon
And wasn't there like a
Monopoly?
Pokemon board game that I'm remembering now very vaguely
There's
that was
literally every type of
like
Monopoly, by the
octagons?
way.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh,
An
no, I'm looking-
octagon board game?
No, like they're like different
Civilization
pieces.
with Pokemon.
Yeah, like a civilization kind of thing with Pokemon. Hold on, I'm looking
What?
this up.
Is this Mousetrap with Pokemon?
It's not literally civilization, but I remember as a kid going to my cousin's house and he had a big old Pokemon board game and we never understood the rules, but there was a whole bunch of different pieces that would like fit together in like an octagon shape. I'm looking this up. People know what I'm talking about.
Gotta find
You
it.
dreamt
Gotta
this and
find
made it up.
But okay, at Pokemon Stadium, I just feel like we've kind of had that in the last.
Feels one-dimensional.
Have we?
We had Coliseum, and then we had.
And
Coliseum
plus,
Yeah,
was
but
Wii.
What
they
was the Wii?
Oh,
Wii was Battle
Col-
Revolution.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Coliseum
Doesn't-
was GameCube.
they lost the narrative a bit with it though. Like
They
they
did.
like
Well, as like the game started looking better, it started making less sense to have a 3D. Like it was one thing
But,
when there
like-
were tiny sprites on the Game Boy screen, but now it's like, well, you just put your Switch dock in the
but
game
like
anyway.
the even Pokemon Sword and Shield don't look. I'm not gonna say they don't look as good as Pokemon.
no, they
Stadium.
could definitely do better.
But
just
yeah,
they
like
don't.
there's a certain level of polish and presentation in the Pokemon Stadium games, plus the fact that like I can go in and pick whatever Pokemon I want.
the idea
And
of the
it's
rental
like-
Pokemon and stuff that
Yeah.
that could be
They
interesting.
do that
as
in
a mode
Sword
in
and
Sword
Shield.
Do they really?
In the
Rental
Battle
Pokemon?
Stadium in the post game, you can just get a group of 6 whatever Pokemon.
Wait, really? Oh, well, never mind. Then I just gotta.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
get
how
to the
did-
end apparently.
how does this differ from Pokemon Go? Can you not?
Well, Pokemon Go
I didn't really
have the
play
Go's
much
yeah.
Pokemon Stadium, so I
Stadium
thought
was
you just have your Pokemon that you transferred over.
so
You can.
yeah.
And you bring
there's
them to the
that, but
stadium.
also if you didn't have the Game Boy game or didn't have the transfer pack, which whatever.
Most
Not
kids
to get into
didn't-
details,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I
like,
didn't have that.
But yeah, so if you just had the N64 cart,
Mm-hmm.
you would just use rental Pokemon from the game,
Right.
So you can kind of just choose who you're using. So it's like
But you mechanically, you were just fighting like
Yeah,
another
mechanically
Pokemon
it's
or
the
someone
same.
else.
Right.
But can't
Yeah.
you just do that in Pokemon Go?
Well,
Not in
Pokemon
Go.
Not Go, but like the
Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield, yes.
Oh, I thought you could do it in Pokemon Go though, but
No,
maybe
does
not.
Pokemon
Go's
Go even have?
It has
Pokemon
battles now.
You can
Okay.
do
They suck.
stadium battles as a group, raids and stuff, but I thought you
it's
could.
No, there's
different,
like
though.
there's a whole
I thought
PvP
they added
thing.
you could fight each other,
Yes,
but it's
Well,
not
you
the
can,
same.
but
It's not
different
It's
type
like
of
you're
battle
tapping
And
a
like
thing
Pokemon,
and then
Pokemon
guarding,
Stadium
yeah.
also had the gym leader tower, or
Yeah,
whatever it was
it's
called.
too much Pokemon.
Surfing Pikachu.
Not enough Pokemon.
And then they also had like the main stadium area where you would go in and you would have to beat like 8 trainers in a row, or whatever. Like there was a certain structure to
a
Pokemon
new
Stadium
gameplay
that I
mechanic
felt
that they just added.
was specifically like really cool and really awesome and really fun for somebody who was at that time. Pokemon Stadium would have been my first Pokemon experience because I played Pokemon Stadium before I actually played Pokemon Blue in those games.
Well, it took the RPG out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took
And
the
it was
RPG out
just
of
the
it, and it
battle
was just the battle system, and I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. And I feel like there could be a place for that, but now that I'm hearing that Pokemon Sword and Shield kind of has that, then
Yeah,
maybe
it's
there is a
post
place for
game,
that.
so like you still have to get through a game to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So in that same vein, this wasn't on my list, but I just thought of it. Fucking Pokemon Snap. Like, where the
Yeah.
hell is a Pokemon Snap
I was
sequence?
talking
I
about that
can't
a little
believe we didn't get it on the Wii, and I can't
Yeah.
believe we didn't get it on the Wii U.
Yeah.
If the Wii U had any goddamn function, it should have been
It was
to like
Pokemon,
take pictures of
100%.
Pokemon.
Yes. Like 3DS even had that big thing with like augmented reality. It's like,
Yeah.
why is there not a Pokemon? And it ended up being like something with Pokemon Go was kind of like that, but I wanted a designed rail shooter kind of thing where it was going around like I'm gonna toss a
Yeah,
ball.
it's
at
a
this
Safari.
thing. Yeah, and then tossing a ball at Snorlax will make it wake up, and then I could take a small picture of it. Like
I've
that's
said
the
this
game I
before.
want.
Pokemon Snap entirely overrated.
Yes, no, but it's also amazing.
But
it's overrated,
it made
but
it into
also
hotel
great.
chains around the world
did.
and airplanes
It
for
did.
a reason,
There wa-
Tim.
there
Joey's
was-
gonna come in and punch me in the
Yeah.
face.
There was
Joey's
a
about to
point where
kick down
I
my
was
door.
Get
legitimately
Joey.
considering as an adult buying one of the Pokemon Snap picture printing machines from Blockbuster.
Holy wait, are you? I love you so much.
Wow.
I
You're the-
went on eBay.
you're
I was
the
like,
coolest
You were
person.
I was on
printing
eBay. I
your
was like, I wonder if I
photos
could
you
just buy
took?
this. Like, it's like, it's
Do
actually
you,
not.
do you remember this?
Vaguely.
Blockbuster had a machine.
You could bring it in
That you would
and
bring
print.
your
Yeah.
cartridge. You,
Yeah.
you just put it in, and you would print out actual
Yeah.
pictures. And you could put Pokemon Stadium in and print out like pictures of your
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
like posing and shit. I still have like pictures in my drawer.
Wow.
But I was like, apparently, it's not that expensive to buy the machine. It's more expensive to buy the paper the machine uses.
Hilarious.
But it was like a couple $100. Like, maybe I should get this.
Being an adult, who the hell would have thought it was
sucks.
this? Oh man,
We're not adults.
Fran, give me another one.
Well, let's just get it off the list since you mentioned it. But Pokemon Puzzle League fits right in right here, right now. I've been asking for this on every show for I don't know how long. Every time we do the best
you?
Nintendo games, yeah, I always bring it up. I'll throw it out there.
Every day, Fran is like,
I always
today's
talk
the
about
day.
Puzzle League, man. But
Pokemon Puzzle League was great.
Pokemon is
Yes.
hot.
Fantastic.
In fact, we should play sometime.
Tetris
It was just-
because I want to know how like good you guys are.
So it's like just Tetris Attack, but like.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Pokemon
it.
stuff.
It was with Pokemon, but it had all like the little effects, and honestly, it was the sound effects and like the
You
little
choose your Pokemon
the little
going
things.
in.
Also, fun fact, perfect segue. Also, NST. Wave Race developers moved on. I believe. Yeah, I hope I get this right. Yeah, they did Pokemon Puzzle League. It just occurred to me. Of course,
Yes.
it was awesome. They were just banging out.
So
the
good.
stuff. But anyway, it would
just
work.
banging
Think
out.
about it. Think about it. It works across all the platforms now. It works on Switch. You should have it on mobile. Like everything.
Yeah.
It would dominate.
I just really want a
Make the
Tetris
game.
Attack. Call it Pokemon, call it whatever, call it Yoshi's,
I'll
whatever they
take
call
Tetris
it
Attack,
before.
but it really should be Pokemon Puzzle League. And maybe to
No Pokemon, no
sell
sale.
this even more, like, as you can tell, I'm not the world's biggest, most knowledgeable Pokemon fan or anything. That was the game, and it was one of my first reviews at IGN. But I was like, Pokemon are freaking awesome.
Well, that was
and that's
like-
where I learned my basics of Pokemon was Pokemon Puzzle League.
I love that. And,
Yeah.
well, that game really was, and I remember this just from playing, like the first video game that felt like it was related to the cartoon more than
Yeah,
the game.
Yeah.
because they had the
Pokemon
voice actors
Yellow
and all that.
kind of had
voice
moments
acting.
like they were like, oh, Jesse and James are here or whatever. But like that game straight up used images from the cartoon.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah,
like,
and
this
maybe
is
that's
dope
why
as hell.
I liked it so much. Yeah, it had all those little like animated touches, and then the sound effects from the actors that would be.
And it was like-
you'd get a
yeah.
combo and be like Squirtle.
There was a Game
And,
Boy
like-
version that had like an actual gym mode where you like go down a path to fight gym leaders.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fucking game
Anyway,
rocked.
we can move
Bear,
on from
I
it.
sent you, or I sent to Assets an image.
Oh boy, he's gonna show something. Anyway, yeah, I'm off Pokemon Puzzle League now. That was a perfect segue though. Wave Race right into that.
I'm gonna
NXT.
bring one up specifically for Bless.
Okay.
Def Jam. Fight for New York.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
It's time. It's fucking time.
The rap
Let's-
game has changed so much.
and that's what I want to
There's
see.
so
Dude,
much
I want it to
gold.
be like a
There's so much
fucking
beef.
world war. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like, call it something dope.
Dude.
I don't know what,
Yeah.
but just have it be like the different styles battling against each other.
Oh my god, get mumble rap in there versus
Fuck
the
yeah.
conscious rap. versus like hardcore drug rap, which is basically mumble rap. It'll be great. It'll be great.
It would be great. Were you into Def Jam Vendetta?
Yeah. It was
Def
awesome.
Jam Fight for New York.
That was
It was one of EA's mini hits at the time, like
Yeah.
that, right? It was cool. It actually, I feel like it borrowed its mechanics from. What did they have a wrestling game at the time?
Yeah, Def Jam Vendetta was specifically a wrestling game.
well, it was also like it was Aki, the people who made the W.
But
WWF
but they
No
made one
Mercy.
for EA, which
Which was
first.
Def Jam.
Oh no, they
Yeah.
just comboed up for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had like legit mechanics. It
Well-
wasn't just like a gimmick of like
Exactly.
the Def Jam brand. It was legit like a fun
Like a-
fighter.
yeah,
You'd
really
be
fun
like
game.
fighting up against like a gas station.
Well,
like-
Vendetta was just wrestling.
Yeah,
It was
Vendetta
like, it
was
was fine.
literally, like,
it was
in a
fine.
wrestling ring, and then
but Fight for New York was like a legitimate
the one
great
I'm thinking
game.
of?
That's the one
Yes.
where like there's
With the
gas
story
station.
mode,
Is that
TI
the
was
second
there.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, Joe
That game
Budden was fighting Method Man.
And that's the one we're
You'll
saying
love
bring
to
back.
see
That's great.
I want that. I want like a modern version of that because I feel like it could totally work.
Who would be in the roster? Because Kendrick would be in there
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, was it only Def Jam artists?
That's my thing is like we'd have to get past that.
Yeah, we'd have
Yes.
to like expand, and so yeah, Kendrick would have to be in there. J. Cole, I would say, would have to be in there. I'd say you get Joe Budden back in, even
Just
though he's
for the fuck of
yeah,
it.
even just because like they already have the assets. Just
Yeah.
up-res that thing. Put it in
Drake.
there. Drake would have to be in there for sure.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah. Lil Yachty
God.
would have to be in there.
There'll be a whole little section.
Yeah.
It's all the Lils.
Lil Pump would probably have to be like an unlockable character.
Definitely. Let's
Yeah.
throw Macklemore in there. You know what I mean?
Oh my god,
have some fun.
Macklemore would get thrown for sure.
Literally throw him in there.
That roster would be fire. I'd be
Imran.
into it.
All right, so this is not technically dead as it had a new game last year, but the new game sucked. It was nothing like the old games. I fucking want a new Contra.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Metal Gear Solid.
There it is.
I was like, wait, did Metal Gear survive?
Totally.
last year?
Now, what
No,
are
it
you
was-
envisioning?
So I'm envisioning basically what we got with Contra 4, honestly. Like a 2D new game that is a shooter where you're constantly holding down that button, you die in one hit, and you do not, for any reason, ever stop. Like that is that game I want. I don't know why Konami is not making that game. Why would you ever make a new Contra that is not any of those things?
Like,
Yeah.
does that for you? Does it
bizarre.
need to be 2D side scroller?
Yes.
Yeah.
Contra would need to be a 2D side scroller.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Ron. What's your opinion on the Metal Slug franchise?
I like Metal Slug a lot. I think it is geared primarily to be kill you more than it is to like be a fun game because those are arcade games primarily, so they want you to
so you
pop in
pop more
quarters.
quarters, yeah.
Contra is built to be it did come from an arcade game, but more and more it's more like just a fun video game that you're meant to play, and you do die, but you don't you learn from it.
Yeah.
I don't think Metal Slug is all about learning. I think it's about getting screwed over quite a bit.
I never thought about it that way, and I guess that does make a lot of sense because I would want to see a modern Metal Slug with that art style. Thank you very much. With that type of art style, but like modernized, right? Like with everything we're seeing with like Guilty Gear and shit.
Yeah.
Give me a Metal Slug like that.
I wouldn't be shocked if if they made a new Metal Slug at some point, it's just like a cell shaded 2D kind of thing.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
But so with Contra, I'm in, but what would make it work nowadays?
That's a harder question.
Yeah, it's like you're you want a newer version that's just sort of perfected on
Yes.
something that you already like, which, yeah, like how much of that is new so much is like, oh, it's just new for you.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a broader thing of like old stuff tends to do fairly well, but only within the indie space. So like you could bring back a game and call it like Bontra, and it plays exactly like Contra, and it would still do okay, but probably not the numbers Konami wants.
What was the Contra game that wasn't Contra that they put out on PS3 that was freaking fantastic with the really cool anime art style?
Hardcore Uprising.
Yes.
Yeah, that was ArcSys made that game, I think.
That was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
And
That's
like, I
really
feel like
cool.
that's kind of an example of this, but do that again.
Yes. I mean, I want something like that. Like, that was a full game that was fun. I wish that was on Xbox One backwards compatibility. I've been, like, begging for it to be on social media, and, like, obviously no one's listening at this point. But I just want that kind of game at least. Like, I want a game where me and a friend are playing co-op and just shooting at weird angles and fighting giant bosses every 3 minutes.
No, have you played Cuphead?
I have played Cuphead.
Does that,
Cuphead is
does
ver-
that scratch that itch?
It's different.
It is
different,
different,
yeah.
but it is
Like-
exactly what you just.
But it
described.
also is like massively influenced by Contra. They've
Yeah.
admitted as much. Like there's a boss in Cuphead that is literally just a boss from Contra Hardcore, just
That's
over
awesome.
again.
That's freaking
Oh,
awesome.
really?
Did you play a Shattered Soldier?
The PS2
On the
one.
PS2?
Yes.
I fucking loved that game. Me and my best friend rented it like 10 times, and we've to this day never beat it.
There's
dang.
parts of it I like.
I want to sit down with him. We got to do it. We
I
got
think
to
I
bring
always
it back.
died at a train boss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how early on that was. I was like, this is hard. I'm
I
not
always
playing
got
this.
stuck in the level that you're like flying in the air and you're holding onto a missile,
Mm-hmm.
and you just like you're spinning around the missile. God, Contra's awesome.
Yeah, Contra
Yeah.
kicks ass.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Fran, what's another one?
Well, another one we got to get off the list that was brought up recently, Eternal Darkness. Okay? Hear me out. Understand it didn't make our most iconic Nintendo games of all time, which we got all kinds of beef about, and this is one of them. But reboot Eternal Darkness, yes, needs to happen. However, of course, we all know as a history lesson, the studio's dissolved, the creators all over the place
Disgraced,
now.
to
Nintendo still owns. They're still making stuff up there. Like Dennis is working on, I forget the name
He's
of the
working on
project.
Eternal Darkness. Or not Eternal
No,
Darkness,
it's,
Legacy of Kain spiritual sequel.
That's right, it's
But he
spiritual
he
sequel
did
to
try to kickstart an Eternal Darkness spiritual successor.
Yes, and that
2 or 3
was-
times. That at one point ended because one of the programmers was a pedophile.
Yes, yeah, that was the studio.
Yeah, I
After,
hate
so
to
yeah,
see
it's a
it.
You
curse.
hate to see it so much.
We weren't supposed to go that deep in the history because I feel like it does. I don't care. I know Dennis very well. I should admit, like I would say he's a friend of mine. I've known him.
He kinda lost his mind over the last
I don't
5
like
or 6
talk to
years.
him every day or anything, but like through the many years in the industry. So that disclaimer aside, actually back to Eternal Darkness. I mean, yeah, the Nintendo owns a franchise. Studios dissolved. However, at its core, I do believe Eternal Darkness had a lot of makings of what would make an awesome modern day game. Like it had, as clunky as it was, back then, and like whether or not it even holds up, but like it had these mind tricks. Whether I don't know if you could pull that type of stuff off these days, the same as
think
Metal
you
Gear
could.
had, right? Plug
I
in.
feel like
They
there's
just
more
have to-
ways
they would
to.
have to be different.
Yeah, you have to redesign
especially
a
with
little
the
bit.
Switch.
But horror games are awesome now, right? Like horror games, you can do so much. I mean, heck, maybe VR is even an element. But you got all the horror stuff going on. But it also had some pretty like deep lore, which people are super into. Like a lot of sort of history woven into it, and then twisted around. Like Alexander the Great, there was like a reference to that, and then Edgar Allan Poe, and it had like a lot of cool stuff around that. And then on top of it, it did have cool like spell and action RPG systems like at a base. So I feel like if you modernized all that and did it right, it actually would be like really cool.
Let me throw this out there. What if they modernized it as a first-person game, a la PT, or like some of the horror survival games?
Could totally work. I mean, a big moment in it, right? There's like a jump scare. You just go into a bathroom, and I remember like actually jumping because of what happened in there. But there's a lot of, jump scares can be cheap now. But
Was it Eternal Darkness?
I felt like it did it
that
right.
like had the gag where they turned down the volume on your TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that
Maybe-
was one
yeah.
where like you literally like they had to like get the volume like iconography right for probably the TV you had, but some people like legit thought they were like their house was like haunted all of a sudden.
I knew
Like,
it
they did
wasn't
stuff
mine.
Like that.
Like I was like, that doesn't look like my TV. But
Yeah.
like for like half a second,
For a
it's like,
second,
wait, what's happening?
And the people who did have that, it was like the
Yeah.
green bar iconography, whatever. They
They
one
nailed it,
Yeah,
man.
one of my
F
TVs
out.
had that.
So I remember like a couple years ago, I mean, at this point, I think it was at the old studio, we were like predicting what we think might happen. And I remember one of the predictions we brought up was that Retro was going to be working on Eternal Darkness, like dope
Really?
ass, like
That would be
obviously
cool.
didn't happen, but wouldn't that have been really cool?
Who would you give it to now, though? If it,
Well, that's my thing.
Kojima Productions.
actually, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, they
That would
worked
be
together.
awesome.
Remember?
Yeah.
On Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, so they have that history. So yeah, you could still have Dennis involved and maybe some of the
That would
original
be
members.
a great. Could you imagine
that would
like
be
the next
awesome.
Nintendo Direct, you see a Kojima Productions logo, and then they show Eternal Darkness? Do you know how like
Dude.
things would pop off?
What was that thing they were
True.
teasing this week? Remember, like they had a
I
thing
think
like
I think it was the PC release date. For
Okay, 'cause
Oh, they
Death
were
Stranding.
teasing the PC release date. However,
But it was like a bad
there's
because they had like a
lot of-
notebook that said Silent Hills
Yeah,
on it.
Yeah,
there's
we
a
talked about it
lot
on the
of,
show,
like-
and I looked at Greg and I was like, "What are they doing? Because this is obviously not going to be Silent
Yeah.
Hills."
There was like a screenshot with something in the background that had a hill in it, and people were going to those depths of like Kojima's working on Silent Hill, and they're like, I don't think they're ever going to get back together.
I feel
on
like
that.
you don't get to be like a puppet master who like hides all these things in your games and then like be like, oh, it was just a tease, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, Eternal Darkness would be dope. I should even note that the studio had gone to lengths at that time. Like they worked with psychologists and stuff like that, and like they had a lot of
Yeah.
that. Like
Oh, Ninja Theory would be
No,
good
no,
for
I was
him.
about to say
studying,
Ninja
like-
Theory could also.
Oh,
do
Ninja
cool
Theory
things
would be
with
very
that.
good. I actually would want it to not be a Nintendo exclusive. I would want them to give up the franchise. Say we're done with it. We're not gonna. Yeah, they will never do it. But that's my dream. If you're gonna reboot it, is give it up, make it multi-platform. If they still want to have it on there, cool. But I'd love to see it across platforms, on PC even.
An easy one that, okay, if this is the most requested topic of all time, the second most requested thing is for us to talk about what a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale should look like. And I feel like that is a franchise
Smash Bros. Ultimate.
that really, really deserves another shot. And I think that they could do it right if they just copy Smash Brothers
It was
Yeah.
so weird that they didn't.
entirely. they fucked it up, man.
Yeah, I don't know why
It
they
was
tried to make
so
the
close.
mechanics
Like
different.
problem 1 was they should have just like gone like, yeah, we know it's like Smash, who cares?
Yes.
Problem 2 was they didn't have the right licensing deals in place.
Exactly. Now, all that's out the window. Ultimate proved anything can fucking happen.
Yeah.
And it's like PlayStation's also in a different place where their cast of characters is like getting to this point where it's iconic. Like they have so many new characters and for their whole franchises that like you can see the roster screen in your head right
Totally.
now.
Yeah.
And it'd be freaking awesome. And sure, licensing might be difficult, but they can get Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like they could get like Aloy and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be really freaking cool. And
there'd be so
they'd
many
finally
cool
have
characters
Crash
in
and
that.
Cloud and like all the things that they should have had in the first one.
I feel like the tough thing is Nintendo has the benefit of having so many characters that are cartoony and animated and can coexist, even though they're at a certain point. Cloud fighting Pac-Man, fighting Solid Snake gets super weird visually, but it still works because Smash Brothers
I
has
think
style.
Yeah.
that's the thing. Visually, it works. You can have Banjo fight Hero or Terry Bogard, and it
But
still makes sense.
I feel like Smash still has that like
I mean, you
cemented.
could-
Hey, most of our characters are cartoony, and so
Right.
we kind of have that for Nintendo. Whereas for Sony, I feel like most of their iconic figures are more realistic characters, like
But I think
Spider-Man,
if they do the
Aloy,
game-
Drake
Nathan
fighting
Drake,
Parappa was
Ellie.
always weird. Like I don't know
Yes.
why. Like maybe it was an art style thing specifically that made that look strange. But when you look at it, I was like, this does not look like it. If Smash Brothers did this, it would look different. I'm not sure how.
Yeah,
It's hard to
that's,
articulate
yeah,
that. But
that's kind of where I'm.
Well,
where I'm
you're
at.
nailing it. Yeah, Smash developed a specific style. It's not like it's just Pac-Man, right? Like they were able to do it in just the way their engine is and the lighting, and like Sony needs that exact
every
thing.
Smash
like,
game has its own. Well, not every, but most Smash games have their own vibe and own look to like the character designs,
Right.
of all fitting in. Like
But-
if you look at Brawl, like they went realistic with Brawl. Like
Yeah.
Brawl is super dark, lots of
Yeah, it
shadows,
is.
like
Yeah.
a lot of denim. Everyone's wearing denim.
Yeah, I miss that Mario so much.
You know what
the
I
denim
mean?
weird
Mario.
articulated finger Mario.
Yeah,
that,
where like when he used the fireball, like it was actual fire. It was
Yeah.
like see the
cartoon fire.
joint in his hand.
But that was my
Exactly.
point. They are honestly really good. There's a subtlety to it that it doesn't look weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get like with PlayStation All Star something. Like, it was a little off at times, right?
But the
So
thing is, we
they
just
to
need a
solve
good
that.
design Bible. Like
Yeah.
they just need somebody that like really like is going to look at this and not just be like, oh, let's throw it all together. Like there's so many great ideas in Battle Royale that I would want to see back. I liked how the stages weren't just one thing. They would take two games and mash them together. Like that's something
actually a
that-
really good idea.
it's
It just
really
needed to
cool.
be more random. It couldn't have been the same thing over and over.
Exactly. And
That's
I
the
just feel like that's the thing. There was there's a good foundation there. Now PlayStation's in a way better
yeah.
place to actually make that game.
Yeah, I think you're
Fucking
right. They
do
never
it.
give it a chance, and look at how much Smash has sold. Like, look at that Crash also solved the cart problem for them, and like just do the same thing with All Stars.
What if they just throw that whole thing out, Smash Brothers template entirely, just make a Power Stone? Like a 3D
Well, I
fighter.
thought that's
That'd
what
be
it was
cool,
going to
too.
be when it was announced. By the way,
Because like PlayStation has a much bigger like history with 3D than it does with 2D stuff.
yeah, but like the Smash formula just works so well.
We
for
just
all
need
those
more
Because
characters
it's
at the
Smash,
same
man.
I feel like
Honestly, I'm with Tim.
I'm not
Just copy
necessarily
it.
sold on it because I still look at Smash as the definitive version of that, and I feel like at a certain point, like if
It's
you,
like come at the king, you better not miss kind of thing.
yeah, like, and I feel like I would rather just see Aloy in Smash. Like if I really wanted to play PlayStation All Stars Battle
gonna be
Royale,
waiting a while.
I would just play Smash because like Cloud is in there. Like I forget what other like
It has more
Joker's
PlayStation
in there.
icons than PlayStation
Yeah.
All Stars did.
So here's my thing. Like,
And like and also if I saw like in a debut trailer for PlayStation All Star Battle Royale, right? Or even if you show me like a screenshot, I feel like I wouldn't get excited or hyped like I would.
But
at Smash.
I feel like that's on them to change that. Like I would want a Smash clone straight the fuck up. But that brand is so powerful that like it doesn't need to be a fighting game at all. It could be a kart racer. It could be something different.
Yeah.
Just you have all these awesome characters, put them together. You know, collab with Capcom and actually make a like
Oh my
2D
God.
fighting
Fighter?
game. Like make it a 2D fighting
Yeah.
game. You know what I mean?
I think that would be that'd be really awesome, like a PlayStation Capcom like MVC
They
sort
already
of
got
thing.
Spider-Man
If they
model.
make it
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
or
Or like a
hero shooter. So you are the characters, but eventually you shoot. But you also can use some of your powers. It's like, right, that's what makes Overwatch interesting. I could go for that.
Didn't they have like a really shitty move game that
They
was like
did.
Sly and Ratchet? And
Which was so hype. Like the idea of it was. Do you remember this?
No.
It was like a game. Was it
PlayStation
Move?
Move
or-
Heroes.
That's
Yeah.
what it was,
Oh.
and it was like Jack and
Yes, I do
Daxter,
remember
Sly,
this.
Ratchet
Yeah.
and Clank all
I do
together.
remember this.
Fuck yeah, man!
Like I love that
why
idea,
not?
but just like
It
it's like
was
this,
bad,
it's like
though.
the Mario and Sonic the Olympics problem. Like, okay, you've made enough of these. Make a fucking platformer now. I just want to see
Yeah,
these characters
do
like
something real.
in their real thing.
Yeah. Bless.
Barry, did you ever get the Slack I sent for this Pokemon board game? Can you bring it up?
More Pokemon, man.
So apparently,
Bring back the Pokemon
I
board game.
misremembered, but
Oh, this is what you were
yeah,
talking
Pokemon
about,
Champion
sort of.
Island. It was basically like a board, and what I thought were like polygons were actually just straight up circles. And then like,
Is this like Pogs? Like, what is this?
I don't know what the game is.
What are all the
My
circles?
cousin owned it, and we would play it, but we had no idea what the rules
So
were.
for those listening, right, what do we see?
Champion
It's
Island
a-
DVD board game.
It's a
$120
Pokemon Island with like a Mario.
Yeah, right now it's expensive.
Super Mario World style map on it, and then there's like circular discs.
Yes.
Which we don't know what you do with.
And I still have no idea what you do with them.
And there's a DVD that you watch, which
So
gotta be the best
Plays
part.
on
rules.
most DVD players. Jesus
somebody
Christ.
somebody remembers this, I'm sure. Somebody
Pokemon
listening is
Champion.
like, oh yeah, Pokemon Champion Island. My next game, Jet Force Gemini.
You motherfucker.
We knew it was
all
coming.
this
Yes.
goddamn show is us bringing up the same shit every
I
week.
know,
I'm
man.
guilty too.
I legit, I have my list here, and I'm like,
I
okay,
have
I
some
can't.
others.
I
It's
can't-
every rare
I
game
knew this
ever.
Oh
was
yeah,
coming out.
I'm like, I can't bring up Burnout again. I can't bring up like there's certain games that I
can.
bring up every single episode of every single show we're on, but Jet Force Gemini I feel like actually fits for this one.
I am surprised how much you love that game.
Oh
'cause
my
I
god,
can't stand it.
I love Jet Force Gemini. The thing about Jet Force Gemini is that I feel like it doesn't get the respect it deserves.
It's
I
As
agree.
a
I think part of that is
got a
because the
lot of
art style
potential.
is horrific.
The style is horrific.
The art style is horrific.
How?
Through-
Like the weird, like these people with like giant fucking eyes. And,
Yeah.
like,
Remember they changed
they
that
look like
style.
somebody trying CG porn for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
that's true.
What's the issue?
It's
here?
like
I
that's
don't
what makes
understand
it
what's
so
wrong.
hot.
So Jet Force Gemini, right? Third-person shooter on the N64. It's exploration based. Well, actually, kind of starts off pretty linear because you're going from planet to planet. We're going from level to level, make your way through the levels, and then eventually your 3 different characters meet on the same level. And then that's halfway through the game, and then eventually it turns into a more explorative experience because you're looking for different ship parts. I digress, right? It's a third-person shooter, platforming elements, all this stuff. Right now, Microsoft owns that game because it was a Rare game on N64, and when Microsoft bought Rare, they also got the rights to that game. The game
They actually
isn't-
picked up Jet Force Gemini.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a
that
Rare
was a
replay,
rare.
so
It was a rare game. Yeah, because that was what got confusing. Like
Yes.
certain games, if Rare didn't publish it, Nintendo did anyway.
Yeah.
So they have Jet Force Gemini.
So they have Jet Force Gemini, and it's a game that I think could actually work pretty good today because at the base of it, it's just a third-person shooter, right?
Yeah.
Like we know how to make third-person shooters
Adventure
now.
with adventure elements,
The issue with it on N64 is that was during a time where third-person shooters weren't really. I mean,
It also came out in like 2001, like or late 2000. It was real late.
yeah, it was very late. I want to say like 99 or it was the same year as
yeah,
DK64.
it was somewhere around there.
1999, yes.
1999.
So
But
that's
yeah,
the
it came out on the
year it's
N64, and that controller is not really
it's
made for
2000.
third-person shooters.
Yeah.
In fact, like that was very much a time where we're still in the process of figuring that out.
It
Yeah,
was like
moving the
movement with
camera
the
around
C
with the C
sticks and like
buttons.
Yeah.
aiming
And
with
the
the
C-
analog.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
feel
it
like
was C buttons then, right?
Yeah.
Because N64.
yeah,
that was
the
exactly
C,
the
the
problem.
C buttons.
You didn't
yeah.
have dual analog.
Well, you would strafe. Well, depending on what your
Yeah.
controller layout was, because you can switch it. Because they start off on the expert control style, which was the bad decision. They should have defaulted it to the regular control
Dude,
style,
strafing,
which makes it so that the stick is so you move, the left and right C buttons so that you strafe left and right, and then up and down the C buttons and you change your weapon. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'd totally be down for it. I feel like Jet Force for me was a game I was so excited about for so long, and yeah, went through like some art style changes that I didn't totally like, but once it finally came out, I was like, well, I like it, but it never blew me away. That I would agree that I'd love to see it, but I feel like it also hasn't
love to
earned.
see it.
I think that
It hasn't
for
earned
sure
the
hasn't.
you must have a sequel.
It definitely
was
didn't
like,
earn that.
it
But
had potential.
I think the main sin with Jet Force Gemini, and this is gonna sound like comedy, but I'm being serious,
Oh, boy.
is I was too ahead of its time.
What?
The only
It was
thing
way
bad
too
about
much.
Gears of War is it was
In
too
what
good.
way?
It was way too ahead of its time.
The bug-eyed porn stuff or what?
No, but like,
Was-
I love that we hired you and Barry. Like, we just have these fucking clowns out here.
Here he comes.
Yo, DK64 should also
Yeah,
come back.
I was
What's
gonna
up,
say there's
cuz?
DK64.
Oh, man.
No, like
I
Jet
love
Force
it.
Gemini ahead of its time for the sense that it was trying to be a.
I mean, it was post GoldenEye, post Perfect Dark. Like, it's not that ahead of its
Yeah,
time.
but those are first-person shooters, though. Like I'm talking about as like a third-person shooter that is about exploring these different planets and like having like an overarching narrative. That was not a popular thing on the N64 at all.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Did you know that there was a spiritual sequel made by X-Rare developers?
was it
Was it? What was
Tamarin.
it called?
has that come out? Because I've been
What was it
called?
I literally emailed them.
I apparently did a preview
what
on
was
it
it
last
called?
year. So it's not out yet. Tamarin?
Yeah, it was supposed to come
Tamarind.
out.
Yeah,
Tamarin. Yeah,
Tamarin.
it was part of the Kind of Funny Game Showcase. It was supposed to come out last summer,
I don't remember that at
and
all.
it just
I'll
never
look that
never
up.
came out. I'm still waiting on it. Tamarin
Yeah, I
developers.
love it.
Apparently,
I
I did a
love
preview
it.
out in April.
Yeah,
Man.
but that's a game I think it could make an appearance
When are
again
we gonna
and
get
actually be a
real
good
with these
game.
choices, people? I mean, I'm
I'm
with
totally
you. How
legit.
are we gonna live in the past? Okay.
What?
Like, let's
These are
get
forgotten
something good.
franchises. That's the
Franchises.
topic of the show. Forgotten
I
franchises.
feel like we're all reliving the past. Can we
Hey.
throw something good out there?
Go
Let's
for
see
it,
what your
Fran.
good thing is.
Then let's get it out of the way. Half-Life. We don't have to go too far.
We're
A
getting
new
Half-Life
game comes
Alyx
out
next
next
month.
week.
Or
Not
this
true
month.
Half-Life. So I just want to make sure that it's out there and it was said. Like, obviously, we need Half-Life 3 in a proper
They actually
sequel.
said something like
They said something-
indicating today.
Yeah, they said something
Today?
today.
Yes.
No
yeah.
way.
They're saying that they're looking forward to making
More Half-Life
There's like
games?
there's like a
Yeah,
bigger
right.
part of the Half-Life thing, and like
It-
they said refresh yourself on episode 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But meaning, to be fair, I know that Half-Life Alyx is coming out, but that's not like a true Half-Life
And they're
sequel.
saying people
Like,
at their studio would love to make
We
more
need
Half-Life
that.
after Half-Life Alyx.
And
Please buy this.
I'm just gonna throw Portal out there with it. Like I'd
Yes.
happily
Yeah.
see both of those
Absolutely.
two. Like, come on, Valve. Let's
I don't
get
know where
back
they
to
take
it.
Portal next, because like Portal 2 was already feeling like, okay, you're kind of stretching this idea as far as it can go. So like, what does Portal 3 look like?
Maybe get some more shooting in it. I don't know. Maybe get a little more
I believe
Half-Life
in them.
it.
They'll
I think they're
figure
just trying
it
to
out.
backdoor Half-Life into.
You know what? Just put Portal somewhere within Half-Life 3 as like you
That's
branch
what I
out
assumed
into
they were
it.
gonna do,
Yeah,
like-
because the worlds like we're crossing.
I would assume Portal was a test for like what they had for Half-Life 3, but then they never made Half-Life 3, so
I would just like to see Portal outside of the test area, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
have her, like, actually experience what the world is
Interesting.
today, and
That'd be
like, maybe it's all
Brings
fucked
the
up
portal
and stuff
gun
like
with
that.
her?
Yeah.
That'd be
yeah.
controversial.
That'd be cool.
Put the Portal gun in
Controversial.
Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes, there you go.
I would love like Half-Life 3, like halfway through playing Half-Life 3 in 2022, like I keep saying, you then drop down into like a different facility, and it is Aperture Laboratories.
Yeah.
And then you play 10 hours of Portal, and then you get back out.
Right.
And then you continue Half-Life 3. Could you imagine?
but I do know it sounds obvious, but again, to be fair, like it's been well over a decade, you know, that we have not had Half-Life, and like I know we're getting Alex, but that's not. So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we didn't consider it a not dead game because it is actually. It is, even though
Half-Life?
Half-Life Alyx. Yes, we're getting Half-Life Alyx though, so let's wait and see. But that's not a proper.
It
He
kinda
makes
fits
fun
with
of
the
me for
Contra
Jet
thing.
Force Gemini
Yeah.
and bust out Half-Life.
All right. Let me throw this one out there. Prince of Persia.
Motherfucker, top of my
Ooh.
list, baby.
We have not-
Let's
100%.
go.
We've not seen a legit Prince of Persia game since God, what was the one Jake Gyllenhaal one?
Yeah.
It came out alongside the
Forgotten
movie.
Sands.
Forgotten Sands. The one before that was just Prince of Persia, the 2008 cel-shaded one.
Yes,
Then
which
it was,
was also incredible.
it was also great. I didn't like the fighting system, but the rest of that game was fantastic. Then the trilogy before that, which I loved 1 and
Yes.
3 so much.
I loved all of them, and I understand who had its issues, and it
It had
was
so
emo
many
and blah
issues.
blah 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 blah. But like the time shit that they did of
Yeah.
death shit, like the idea of 2 is dope as fuck, and like the combat system was awesome, and the puzzles were great. It just had
How
a lot
was
of
2
butt
different
rock.
from 1 again? I thought
It was
just
very
sort of evolved.
edgelordy.
2
like-
went straight up like
Yeah.
Death metal.
the side of Hot Topic, like you don't want to look at when you
Right.
walk in. You're like,
They got so embarrassed by 2 that at the beginning of 3, they just said like, hey, people say this happened, but actually it didn't. None of that happened. We did it totally differently.
Well, what's crazy about
I
that
played it,
is
yeah, I just don't remember.
Prince of Persia, like that trilogy to me was like everything. Like it was one of those franchises where at E3 I was waiting for the trailer for that shit, and I would
Yeah.
watch it over and over and over. And the Two Thrones, the third game, the trailers they showed at E3 were a totally different game.
Yeah.
Like all the story beats were following up on Warrior Within, and they were really dark, and I really thought they were awesome. And then we get the game, and they were just like, nah, it's different. We threw all of that out, and that made 3 kind of lame to me. I loved it, but I feel like the story like felt like a weird concession where it like wasn't committing to what it needed.
No, definitely
It's kind of like
was.
fucking Star Wars, really.
It was clear they had no idea what to do with Prince of Persia at that point, and they still don't know what to do with it now. What would a modern Prince of Persia look
Yeah,
like?
that's what I was
Is
gonna
it just
ask, like,
Assassin's
is-
Creed?
Unfortunately,
Like,
it's Assassin's Creed, right? Like, and,
So
and
it would
that's
have a
like,
lot more
Assassin's
like
Creed is
fighting
evolved,
and
though.
action.
Which is the weird thing.
It is, right?
Yeah.
That was my thing is like, you know, the team went on to make Assassin's Creed 1, and I remember being so disappointed. Like, 1, I didn't really like Assassin's Creed, and 2 was like, oh man, like, this means we're not getting a Prince of Persia. Like, fuck. But then Assassin's Creed figured its shit out, and like has totally evolved and changed. But,
But the heart of Prince was the platforming and the puzzle and the
Yeah.
discovery, right? Like,
and the parkour,
Yeah,
right? Like, the
exactly.
movement, the
Like-
the feeling
but it
of
wasn't
all.
to fight something; it was to avoid fighting something, right? For
Yeah.
the
Yeah, there was-
beginning of it.
there was a lot of
I mean, it was
combat.
based like right. Prince of Persia originally was,
Yeah.
you know,
Then-
a platformer, and funny enough, it was a quote dead game, and then they birthed it, and then it
Yeah.
became this really cool almost Mario inspired in some ways, but obviously still Prince of Persia in a 3D world. And the time mechanic of making the mistake of that was a crap jump, and I gotta go
God,
backwards.
what a fantastic framing device that was, though. Of like, no, that didn't happen. Let me explain to you how it really
Oh
happened.
my
Like,
god, dude.
oh.
And spoilers for fucking Prince of Persia Sands of Time. But when he kisses Farah at the end and then rewinds to kiss her again, I'm like, this is the coolest
I
fucking
forgot
thing
about
I've ever seen. Dude, I would love it, man. And I would take anything Prince of Persia at this point.
Yeah.
Well, on a real console, not the weird augmented reality thing they're putting
Oh
out
yeah, that thing.
that they
like-
just announced. But I feel like I'd even be down as much. The trilogy is really where my heart is. Forgotten Sands, not that bad. The movie tie-in game, because it kind of
was
went
fine.
back to the original ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd even be okay with just a reboot in the style of 2008, where it's like we're just gonna do something different. Like it's not gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like a new Prince of Persia.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
it
I
needs
want
the
to.
Breath of the Wild treatment, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like some reinvention of it, and still at the core. But it shouldn't be the same adventure platforming stuff.
I like Ubisoft, but like all they make these days are open world games. I want them to just make something linear and like Prince of Persia again.
I'd love that. Fucking love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw one
What
out
else we
there.
got?
Time Crisis.
Hmm.
So here's the thing.
Oh,
I've said this
get
on
your
many shows
golden
before.
eye in a way. Huh?
I'm gonna go.
Oh, Time Crisis. Sorry, I
Crisis.
thought you said Time Splitters first.
Well, Time
That's
Splitters
also on your list. Okay.
is next on my list.
Sorry.
But Time Crisis and Point Blank. Talked about these many times on Games Daily and stuff. Do you remember Point Blank?
I'm trying to remember
Yes.
Point
Mini
Blank.
game collection on PlayStation 1 it was just a Namco shooter, like light gun shooter. I want both of them, but I'm going to go with Time Crisis because it makes a bit more sense.
Combine them
But
in one game, just like you did with Wave Race and 1080. I'm
I'd-
gonna make it one
I'd
game.
be down. But I want a dope, honest to goodness Time Crisis VR game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would have to be VR.
And I want them to commit so hard.
That'd be cool.
It's all VR is meant for
surprised
light
that hasn't
gun
happened
games,
yet.
man. And yeah, this thing is let's just really go hard and make do some interesting dope shit that you can only do in VR with the Time Crisis idea.
So does that take it off the rails, or are you still on the rails? You know what I mean?
Still on rails.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I loved Until Dawn, not Rondo of Blood. What was it called?
Until
Rush of
Dawn,
Blood.
Rush of
Rush of Blood. I freaking loved it. PlayStation VR launch title, and essentially it was just like, hey, you're on a roller coaster and it's a light gun game. And I'm like, great, you guys understand how to use VR, which is keep you still and just have you move around
Yeah.
and shoot
I mean,
things.
I think that's the awesome thing about Blood and Truth is that it kind of has the best of both worlds, where it's pretty much on rails because you're going down like a linear path, but you then get to choose kind of where you go in terms of where you're going to take cover, and in some areas you kind of have to solve which direction you're going to go by pointing and I guess pressing the button. But I think that type of game works perfectly in VR,
Yeah.
especially from the perspective. I was talking about this during the Half-Life Alyx gameplay, is that you kind of have to dodge under cover and actively reload and do different things like that. That stuff works perfectly.
So my thing is Blood and Truth, that's fantastic, and that's definitely the direction I'm talking about. But make it more arcadey. Make it more about scores. Make it more about wanting to play short little bursts that you're doing over and over because you want to do even better. How do you combine Beat Saber
Yeah,
and
that's what I was thinking when you said that.
a light gun shooter into one thing in VR? I think it could be really freaking cool.
That'd be
And
really
I
cool.
feel like Time Crisis could do
Yeah.
it.
My
Wait,
worry
isn't
with
that
Time
game
Crisis.
from what's their name? Harmonix Smith. What's the name of their game?
Oh, that
The shooting. It's the shooting Beat Saber. I was just like, joking.
I know
They
what
kind
you're
of
talking
did that with.
Yeah.
God, what is it called?
I don't know what it's called.
Give
But I
me a
know
second.
exactly what you're talking about.
Frequency, right?
No, no,
no,
no,
the
no,
more
it's
recent
cool.
thing. Yeah,
I don't know why I forgot.
they also had
I'll
a
tell you
shooter a
in
while
second.
ago that they canceled. But
Anyway.
Thinking of Fuser. No, I'm just kidding. It's
no,
not. It's not Fuser.
Fuse is the new one.
Which I typed down DJ Hero and then deleted it. Great. I love DJ Hero, but I don't know if it should come back though.
Yeah, I loved it too, but
It was great for a time. For a year.
Oh yeah, Audica.
For a month.
that was okay.
Imran.
That'd be cool.
I really want to see a new Klonoa. And I it's never been the most popular series, but it was so we don't have enough interesting, I guess, cutesy mascot platformers anymore. It's pretty much just Mario and Sonic and a couple others. Everyone else from that era is more or less gone. I would love to see them try their hands at okay, we know this isn't working anymore. Let's try it again, but let's put it with modern graphics, modern design sensibilities. Let's keep it 2D because we don't need to put 2D platform 3D. But it's so strange to me that they haven't taken one of their old mascot ideas, or Bandai Namco hasn't, back to a better sensibility now.
Yeah. I was never into the Klonoa games. There's something about it where it felt not tight enough.
I can see that. They're very much like you don't have the air control you need to until you grab onto an enemy, and then you suddenly do. So
Yeah.
it became a lot of like plotting your things out before you make your jump.
Yeah.
Fran.
Interesting pick. All right, another one that I had very high up the list that and now I'm starting to feel like the obvious ones. You guys are going to be like, well, I mean, of course. So that
Before
was
you
the
say it,
Half-Life
though,
reaction.
before you say it, let me tell you about our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Omax's Cryo Freeze. Living with chronic pain is the worst. It's more than a feeling of discomfort. It can affect your entire life. Many of you guys have probably dealt with this stuff. I know I've dealt with some issues in my life, but my beautiful fiance, Gia, she's dealt with chronic pain her entire life. She's tried everything. And, you know, things work here, things work there. But something that's been helping her out a lot is this Cryo Freeze. Here's the thing. Enter Omax Health. If you're looking to get rid of nagging muscle and joint pain immediately while providing long-lasting recovery, then you need to try the natural breakthrough pain relief solution, CryoFreeze CBD Roll-On, developed by Omax Health. This non-prescription triple-action pain relief roll-on is specifically formulated to block pain receptors, reduce inflammation, and improve muscle and joint flexibility. The best part is it is 100% natural. CBD-powered remedy works its magic within 10 minutes of application, and relief lasts up to 8 hours. Much longer than over-the-counter products. Omax Health is offering you guys 20% off a full bottle of CryoFreeze CBD Pain Relief Roll-On plus free shipping. This discount also applies towards any product site-wide. Wow. Just go to omaxhealth.com. That's OMAXHEALTH.com today and enter code KINDA to get 20% off CryoFreeze and everything site-wise. That's OMAXhealth.com. Enter code KINDA to get 20% off now. Next up, shout out to Manscaped. Man, we've all been there. We've all been shaving our balls and something bad happens. And that's the worst place that you want something bad to happen. You can fix all that. No more nicking your nuts. No more cutting your nuts. Keep your nuts clean. Keep your nuts looking good, but keep your nuts safe. That's the most important part. No more cuts and nicks with the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. This is the 3rd generation trimmer featuring advanced skin-safe technology so you can keep your bad boys nice and smooth. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created and just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. So here's the deal. This thing is premium. I'm talking real damn premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes, so you can take an even longer shave. If you're shaving your nuts for 90 minutes, I'm impressed at the size of your nuts. You won't need to take that long, but it's good to know you have the options. Good to know, Barrett. Good to know. Many people have written in stories about how Lawnmower 3.0 has changed their lives, keeping their things clean. You know what I mean? Those things down there. In the down, I don't know what I'm talking about, Barrett. I'm looking at you and I'm talking about balls. I never thought we'd be here.
I know.
But
Look at
here
us.
we are. Here we are. But both of us got some nice clean balls, right?
Yep.
There we go. You can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code KINDA at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code KINDA at manscaped.com. I recently gave Blessing the Lawnmower 3.0. I haven't heard anything yet, but chances are his balls are looking real good. Next up, Upstart. Segue. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy, getting out is hard, especially if your credit score isn't great. Thankfully now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows that you are more than just your credit score, and they offer smarter interest rates to help you pay off high-interest credit card debts, like the debt that one of my best friends had, and he had to really search within himself to figure out how does he think he's going to get through this. And Upstart helped him with all of it. Consolidated all his payments into just one monthly thing. Super easy to deal with. They go beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. They make it fast. They make it simple. They make it easy. It's the trifecta of things you want. The best part, once the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. You can free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. You can see why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot. And hurry to upstart.com/kinda to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. That's upstart.com/.
All right, Ninja Gaiden. It's time.
Oh my God! Fuck! You're so right.
But it's weird because we're kind of getting it with Neo, but that's not Ninja Gaiden. Obviously.
No.
But it's it's some of the team members and.
Yeah.
But we have the evolution now of Sekiro, Dark Souls, Neo.
Well, Ninja Gaiden 3 was 2011, It sucked. It was bad, but
2011's a long time ago now.
Nearly
We're
a
talking-
decade.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy if it was all that long ago. So it is kind of a dead game, and like why? It almost like is odd. You have
Well, 3
all
was
these-
such a bad. I got so critically panned that they're like, we're taking a break from this for a while.
and I get that, and maybe it was the right move for the team, and they moved around, and things like that happen internally. But the brand itself is so strong. I feel like I don't think they'd have trouble bringing back a Ninja Gaiden. And Ninja Gaiden Black, I remember when that came out, like so freaking tough. And that was just a bold move at the time, I feel like. It wasn't like a pushover game. And like that's what people are loving right now, with Sekiro and all this. And like we don't know exactly what Ghost of Tsushima will be, but the vibe, all of it just seems to make perfect sense. I have to wonder.
Those
if
all seem
they're-
like slower games than a Ninja Gaiden. Like Ninja Gaiden at a character
It's
action
fast.
perspective is relentless offense.
Yeah.
Like you cannot stop attacking for any reason because they will kill you the second you do.
Yeah.
So what would that look like though? If Ninja Gaiden came back, do you think that they would slow it down to be a bit more
No, I
like
think-
the Souls games, or do you think that they would just do it again?
I think like stuff like Devil May Cry and Platinum Games succeeds these days, so why not lean into it?
Yeah.
Go as hard as you
It
can.
gotta be somewhere in between. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like Devil May Cry is that's a good point. It's so over the top though. It's hard to
Ninja
imagine.
Gaiden's also pretty damn over
Yeah.
the top. 2 had what's the Statue of Liberty that attacked you? Or like a giant thing in New York or something like that?
I don't know. I'm envisioning more pure like Ninja Gaiden originally, at least when I first played it, on the NES or whatever, was like it just stood for being, that shinobi like stealthy. And I know it was just kind of a move from left to right action game. Well,
Yeah.
you jumped up as well. It was a little bit platformer but at its core, it was like, you're a freaking ninja. And I just say roll with that. So no, it's not like it's Dark Souls and all magical and weird, but like somewhere closer to, a little bit what's going on with Sekiro and Neo.
But at the
And-
same time, they do have Neo for that.
But
so
well, right,
yeah.
but you've got to just be this. I don't know. I think the ninja part is important now that I'm saying it. So oddly, I think maybe there's some stealth in there. I didn't really map out the
That would make
game
it like
design. But
Sekiro then.
yeah, kind of like scary. You're right. You sneak up, but like I was thinking more almost for a second like Hitman, like super sneaky for moments. So maybe there's moments where you develop in your stealth skill, but at the end of the day, Ninja Gaiden, anything. So.
It's a good one. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, Timesplitters.
Oh yeah.
I want more Timesplitters. And I know Timesplitters
They're making them.
Rewind has been talked about. Kind of. Are they?
is
No,
Really?
they announced they're working on a Time Splitters thing. I
They
assume
did.
it's a new game. Otherwise, they
Well,
just say
it's
remaster.
THQ,
Still the same team?
Nordic,
Yeah.
right? They're doing something or
That's
other.
the
But then-
publishers. It's still the same team.
These
are ex,
Free
GoldenEye
Radical
people.
is-
Free Radical, exactly.
Are they still in business?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, that's what made it special. We couldn't get GoldenEye.
Maybe they absorbed
Nintendo
in
still,
Sumo.
I believe, they own the rights to the name of that game. Of course, then you have the forget who owns the Bond
Likenesses and all that
franchise, the
stuff.
name of that family there.
Yeah.
But it's such a mess to think about rebooting GoldenEye, so we end up with Timesplitters. So, oh yeah, wait, that's right. Crytek, did they pick up? This is what
Crytek
the
UK,
wiki page,
formerly
yeah.
Free Radical
So
Design.
they're working on Crytek stuff, but
they're defunct,
and they're
so.
done.
but if any of those folks, yeah, David Doak, Steve Ellis, Carl Hilton, etc., those are the folks from Rare.
But I do know that like there's a group
Get 'em
out there
involved.
doing what's called Timesplitters Rewind, and they've been working on this since like
Why is it called
2014.
Rewind? That's concerning.
Well, because they're like it's not an official game; it's like a fan made game, but with a lot of support from the people that actually made this shit. That's like pretty much an HD remaster of all the
See,
old ones.
Yeah, the problem with this is like it's nice to get something, but I'm gonna bring up since you bring up Burnout so often. It's like those folks kind of got together and made Dangerous Driving, but
But
not
that wasn't
nearly
good.
the amount of
Yeah.
polish
Now they're
and
making
support
another
that we
one.
need. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be that. Is all I'm saying.
No, for sure. So here's my pitch on Timesplitters: is partner up with Nintendo somehow and make Timesplitters just a super fun Nintendoized first-person shooter. Make it their thing of just like wacky characters, wacky story, whatever. But it is just not team death, but deathmatch. Like it is just them trying to have a first-person shooter, like in the way that they have Splatoon, kind of be their like the closest thing they have.
So we
to
get
that.
our GoldenEye multiplayer through this. Is what you're
Absolutely,
saying.
yeah. A modern
Focus
Switch
just on that.
GoldenEye type.
But we need the story back, and we need Vin Diesel cast as the main.
100%
Yes.
with you.
Okay,
Yes.
because the main character just was like a fucking
It was Vin
clone
Diesel,
Vin
but
Diesel.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I'm following
Looked
this
like him, huh?
this thread of what happened to Free Radical.
I don't care about that element.
Like when they went to Damn Buster Studios, now they're working on Dead Island 2 apparently. So
on
technically
what?
they are owned by THQ Nordic. It just
Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2.
Yo, remember the-
games that should come back?
they're
my
one of
God.
the 3 studios that have been working on it. Like Jaeger was first, then Sumo, and now Dam Buster.
I like that idea though, Tim. Yeah, because like roundaboutly, it's funny. Like I wanted to put GoldenEye on the list, but I'm just like I don't know how that's gonna work. So maybe that's the way you do it.
That's my thing. Is like maybe take Timesplitters out of it because I get that that's like too much shit. But it's like Nintendo just needs a GoldenEye that's not GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
modern
right.
version. You know, and I feel like that's just so simple. Arena shooter, but like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird. Yeah, like I'm with you, but again, like the GoldenEye was special because of the time and the style and the bond powers and the gadgets and stuff. And like now, like what?
Yeah, that's
how do you do that?
I feel like
You know-
Splatoon is pretty much that for them.
Yeah. Meaning
Like, I
you're-
feel like the way the Switch feels and the way that controller feels, it doesn't necessarily complement first-person
Pinpoint
shooters.
accuracy, yeah.
Like pinpoint like competitive first-person shooters in that way. And I feel like Splatoon is like the closest thing where it's like, okay, yeah, this is made for the Switch, and it is a shooter, like a team-based shooter.
Yeah.
So it kind of fulfills that for them.
No, I think you're right. Like
As sad as it
that is
is.
their way of doing PvP. Like doing the straight up shooting. It is like sentimentally, this is kind of one of them. I'm like, I'm with you. I want it. I'm like, I don't know how. Like in a world of now, we got play Valorant. You know, this Overwatch, CS:GO. You know, whatever hybrid looking thing coming from the League of Legends folks, right? And then you got Overwatch, and then you got all these other games people are playing that are legit amazing shooters. How do you even do it?
Well, that's my thing. Is like don't lean into that. Lean more into like.
But meaning if it's a
Smash
shooter,
Brothers to
like,
fighting games, I want this to shooters. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know what that'd be. I don't know.
Imran, give me another one.
I really want a new. So in 2005, I think there was a Ghouls and Ghosts for PSP, and I was shocked. Or Ghosts and Goblins, I never get it
Either
right.
way.
G&G
we
for
know what you're talking about.
PSP, and it was one of the
Capcom.
best games on that system. And I am shocked that it never ported it anywhere else. I don't even need a new game.
100% down.
Just remaster that game. Like, just put that game somewhere else on a modern system on the Switch. Who gives a shit? Like, you don't need to make a new one. You don't need to make a Man
Why
11.
not, though? Like, give it the Ori treatment, let's call it. You know, this beautiful, you know what I mean? Like, amazing looking, but
So here's the
but
thing. I think
graveyard.
I think Mega Man 11 is actually a fantastic looking video game. Like, especially the bosses and the larger enemies and all. Like, Mega Man himself,
Yeah.
everyone else, kind of great looking. I think if you just did that, like, you didn't need to go too far with it, because that game only sold 1 million. It was a success for them. Like, I think you could have a really successful game like that. The problem is that those games are way too hard for most people. And also,
Ghouls?
Yes.
It's funny. I remember play. I didn't remember.
Have you ever beaten one?
I
'Cause you
remember
have to-
Ghouls and Goblins, the first one being tough.
You have
And
to
then
get to the
Super
boss.
Ghouls and Ghosts, that was better.
You have to get to the final boss, and the boss is like, nah, fuck
Was that Beelzebub or whatever? Or
Yeah.
was he the last? I remember fighting him.
And then, like, you go
Feel like I
back
beat him.
again through the entire game and collect things and fight him again.
Oh, I think
And
I
re-
do remember that part. And then maybe I never did it.
and
'cause
an
it's like,
age
this
without battery
sucks.
saves. Like,
Yeah.
that's that game would not succeed today.
Well, you
so
wouldn't
have
do
to,
that,
You have
yeah.
to flatten out a little bit. And the PSP game did the same kind of thing. But I still think you make that game today, and people will be like, fuck yeah, Capcom's back. Like, they're doing the thing they need to do.
That'd be cool. It's cool
Speaking of
stuff.
Capcom being back, baby. Onimusha. Can you just give me
Oh,
something?
yeah,
Can you
your
Give
fave.
me an Onimusha in the RE
Or
engine.
engine.
And here's the other
Or
thing.
Shinobi.
I'll wait.
Samurai,
I'll wait.
sorry.
Give me the RE8. It needs to have RE3. Obviously, is happening. RE8, of course. But at some point, it's like you should be focusing on RE. Get that mainstream buzz going. But then just give me Onimusha.
So
in that
here's the thing then. Does that game just be Neo at that point? Like, is a modern Onimusha...
No,
Because there's no really modern Resident Evil in the same way that Onimusha was old Resident
I
Evil.
feel like there is modern Resident Evil.
I mean,
It's
there
just
is, but like it's
horror
not
games, right?
Yeah, it's just not the same as it was
Funny,
before.
I feel like it's more Sekiro than.
To me, the thing,
Yes.
the thing about Onimusha is it's not just like Onimusha is not special because you're a samurai. It's special because there's all the demon shit,
Which
right?
again is Neo.
Which yes, but like it's the shit of like the absorbing the souls and like having the different elemental powers and things like that. Like I did not get deep into Neo enough to know. Does it have that type of stuff? Like there's like a
Neo 1 didn't.
arcadey style to Onimusha that I really especially. Here's my thing, Onimusha 3. I want Onimusha 3 again.
That game's intro won awards for
And
how amazing it was.
It fucking deserves them. Guess what, guys? In the post show, we're gonna watch the intro to Onimusha 3 because it's the most hype thing of all freaking time.
It's amazing.
And I want that shit.
But like,
of course they could do it. I mean, look, like they're making Ghost of Tsushima, and like it's gonna. We don't know exactly what it'll be, but it looks gorgeous, and I'm down for that. I mean, I'd feel the same way about this.
here's my question: if you bring Onimusha back, do you bring back the puzzle gameplay of it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I always thought it was the weakest part of it.
It was like
Yeah.
the same as RE, right? It'd be
Yes.
like a shiny thing, and then you had to,
But
stuff like that.
Onimusha 1 infamously had like a sliding puzzle that's timed, and if you don't get it right, you get a game over.
Yeah, I played it. I just, yeah.
Here's the thing.
It's amazing they did that
Onimusha, I
series.
really feel like it kind of like grew on itself. And by the time it hit 3, it was bonkers insane. But 3 was the first time that they went to full control, analog control of the
Yes.
character. Got rid of the tank controls and moved forward. They ported Onimusha 1 to everything last
Yeah.
year.
Well, it was pre-rendered backgrounds originally, right?
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
why.
Yeah.
It was just like RE, where it was like these gorgeous, backgrounds, but then it was like isometric, top-down-ish sort of, and you're this,
But the
guy
moment that
running
it
around.
played more like Devil May Cry, I feel like that's when I liked it the most. And a modern version of that, I am just super freaking in for.
Yeah.
it.
It was ahead of its time in a lot of ways, especially in terms of character action. Like, there were really cool rival fights. I remember Onimusha 2 had like, God, what was that guy's name? Gogen Dantas? He was
Jubei was the.
Jubei was the main character, and he had like a rival that would appear every like.
Yeah.
It's like I'm the great Gogen Dantas, and then you fight him, and it's like a really fucking cool fight each time.
Bless.
I think Brink deserves another chance.
No, it doesn't.
I think Brink, and this is, I'm not going to say it was
died
ahead of
for a
I'm
reason.
not going to say it was ahead of its time or anything like that. But
Your
No
favorite
Jet Force
seg.
Gemini.
it's no Jet Force Gemini. But in a sense, I feel like
Few things are.
I feel like that game, given it another attempt, and like given it being a lot better, could do well today. Like it being a first-person shooter that was it hero-based, or am I making that up? Because I know you like created your
I barely
character.
remember it, be honest.
If for people who are unfamiliar, right, this game was published by Bethesda.
I don't think it was
like-
hero based. I think it was.
It was like a
generic characters.
stylized first-person shooter with like free running elements. And I guess it wasn't hero-based. It probably would have been. I think like the matches were objective-based, if I
Yes.
remember correctly.
It was like big parkour emphasis on everything.
Yeah, it didn't do well because it just wasn't that great. But I think it had a lot of the ingredients there for a really special experience. Like I remember everybody being excited for Brink, and then it came out and everybody was disappointed. But I think the things that made people excited when it was announced and shown off, like those things would still work, right? The style of it, the way it looks, Overwatchy but not Overwatchy. Like it's stylized, and so it had like the long faces for the characters, and it had like the pronounced features on the characters.
It looked like what I thought Rage 2 was going to look like when they first showed me Rage 2.
yeah, somewhat like that.
Was it just the style? I mean, what made it more than just the shooter?
It's
What was
the,
special
well, it was the
about
style, and it was like the free running elements.
Yeah.
And we
Just that it had like some parkour type
Yeah.
stuff in it.
Yeah, and I think like that world at first blush seemed kind of interesting, and I would love for somebody to pick that up and actually flesh it out and make that something worth caring about, because I think Brink on the service had a lot going for it, and I would love to play a first person shooter, like a competitive first person shooter that has these free running elements. I
Yeah.
feel like there's something there.
I mean, we're basically describing Apex at that point,
Yeah,
right?
and
Yeah, that's
in
a
that
good
actually,
point.
when I first
It's a
wrote this
little
down,
Apexy
Apex was
and-
actually what I was thinking about. Like I think you could take a lot of those elements and boil them down to like an arena first person shooter that really works. And now I'm just talking about Titanfall 2, I guess.
Fuck yeah, Titanfall 2 is
But no, I
great.
see what you
Yeah.
meant. Maybe with
Bring
a
back
little
Titanfall
more
2.
of that free running parkour aspect.
Yeah, like some
little
some
mirrors
more focus
edgy
on
at
that.
times or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Interesting.
I got one for you.
Go for it.
It's been way too long. When the fuck are we gonna get a chess too?
That's what I'm talking about.
There was a
You got me for a second.
wanna
I was
see it.
like,
there was an N64 chess game
We
that
did,
had like
we
a
got auto
phone
chess.
jack inside the cart, so
Yes.
you could play it online.
What the fuck?
that was like one
really?
of the first like
Yeah.
online like attempts. I thought.
Yeah, I remember like thinking like,
there
oh,
was-
that's a good solution.
Yeah. Because that was this. Wasn't it? That was on the Famicom or?
N64,
Oh, it was on N64.
or at least the one I'm thinking of with N64.
Probably.
There's
yeah.
probably other.
No,
ones.
I think you're right. But all that was born out of like they did that on Famicom or Super Famicom, where originally, right, it started. I think as like you could access your bank account or something. And it all started with this technology of plugging your phone into a cartridge. And
Did you own X-Band as a kid? Did anyone own X-Band as a kid? So
No.
X-Band was a thing that you attach to your, like a Game Genie kind of thing, where you put your cart in there between the two stuff, and it would allow you to play online. I got one match ever of Street Fighter 2 of somebody else playing it, and it was unplayably laggy. Like you would throw a Sonic Boom and it would come out like 5 seconds later.
That's awesome.
well,
it
it
was
had
still
to
amazing.
call
It
the
still
other
blew my
person,
mind.
and then they had the answer for hello, boom. And you're like, oh, dang it,
Damn
man.
it.
You have to, like, what if that's how it worked? It was all the audio. That's how you figured out what happened to you.
Turn-based Street Fighter 2.
Should I? You can. Oh, son of a! I knew it. I'm gonna call him right back.
Bless.
What up?
Hit me one.
Let me see here. I think Wii Sports should make a comeback.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they would have to change the name of it. It'd probably be either Switch Sports or Nintendo Sports or
3-4 sports.
Mii Sports. I feel like could be a good solution
Do we
because
need
you're
this
playing
in our
as
life
Mii's.
again?
Yeah, dude. I miss Mii
Grandma and
Sports.
mom, everybody coming out.
Yeah, it was a great family experience. I'd love to have that on Switch. Like the Switch has the gyroscope or whatever
Yeah.
the motion stuff is. That could probably make it work. What's so funny? It'd be awesome.
Fucking friend. Grandma and mom just coming out.
Playing your video games like that. I'm trying to get away from
I just
all that.
picture like Fran being at home and his mom comes over, like, can we play video games? Like, Mom, jeez.
Yeah, it was actually that's kind of what I remember because I brought it. This is the real story. I had brought my stuff back because I was a total nerd and like it just came out, but I was planning to play it during New Year's Eve. Thought it would make for some fun, and it sure did. Great drinking games planned
I'm
and
also-
executed.
I'm also gonna 1-2 punch this with one that's in a similar vein,
Switch.
Nintendo Land.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like why did Switch launch with 1-2 Switch when it could have? And I'm not saying that it should have launched with Nintendo Land either because that didn't work with Wii U. But Nintendo Land was an awesome, like amazing
Idea.
game. No, the game was awesome.
There are like
Games in it are awesome.
Yes.
Then there's a lot of other games that are not so
But
awesome.
there are enough games. Like how many games in Wii Sports were great?
Wii Sports was bowling, tennis.
Like bowling and tennis were the two that people mainly did,
Yeah,
and
those
I
were
love the
the ones.
boxing. And golf was like
Yeah,
nobody played golf, but
boxing
it was good.
broken but fun.
Yeah.
Yes, boxing.
Yeah. But like Nintendo Land had the Luigi's Mansion game, which I would say
Which was
is
great.
like an amazing game. Mario Chase was fun.
Mario Chase was super fun.
The Animal Crossing game in there I thought was super awesome. There's like
The
there was,
Donkey Kong one I liked a lot.
I don't think I played the Donkey Kong one.
The one where you're tilting down a Donkey Kong level.
Oh no, I don't remember that one.
I don't know, man.
I guess I didn't play much of that one, but then
it all
also
felt
there's
like a
like
demo
the
for the
Zelda
Wii U.
on
I
rails
was
thing. I
like-
thought was pretty fun. Like there are enough games in there that I thought worked, and there are enough games in there that I thought were super great that I would love to see that thing make a return because I think it worked really well.
Here's my thing. Don't bring back Nintendo Land. Make the Nintendo thing at Universal Studios. Nintendo Land.
But also make Nintendo Land though. How often am I gonna go to Universal Studios?
You're
Well, if they
saying
had
make
Nintendo
one
Land there pretty
actual-
often.
If they had Nintendo Land, that's like a lot of money for me to go fly down there. When I can just have Nintendo
I
Land.
love the
Great
idea.
for it.
And I feel like Nintendo Land is one of those games that got way too much shit because it was good.
It was
It's
tied
just-
to the Wii U.
But it was tied
Yeah.
to the Wii U.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever.
That's true.
But
Negative connotation.
I do think that at the end of the day, like it was not a great showing from Nintendo, and like they should
Really?
have done better from it. Like I feel like the concept
was
of that
super rushed.
was so great. It felt rushed.
Yeah.
It felt like incomplete,
Those are
and
some of the Wii
especially
U.
from a single player perspective. Like no fucking way is that game entertaining at all.
For sure, but
And
like
it should have been.
How entertaining was Wii Sports from a single player perspective?
That's hey, I'm not
Yeah.
comparing it to Wii
'Cause-
Sports.
but I
I
mean-
feel like this one had so much potential. Like this could have been like a Smash Brothers of Mario Party, right?
I don't. Well,
Here's a bunch
I
of
don't know
mini
about that.
games, but based on the characters and games that you love.
They also rolled it out real dumb with that one E3 conference where they're like, and
I
now
was
let's take
there.
another visit back to Nintendo Land.
I was
and the
there,
fireworks.
guys.
Yeah, they rolled out everything dumb for the Wii U. And my thing is, like, I don't even think Nintendo Land is like one of the best Nintendo titles or
It's just
anything
a
like
neat
that.
game.
But I think it could have been a great packing title for Switch.
Yes.
You know, it's not like 1-2 Switch wasn't a packing title, but there should have been a packing title, like a launch title. Aside from Breath of the Wild, for Switch, that really made that console special, or
sense.
that brought in like a family audience into it. And Nintendo Land could have been that, or like some sort of sports title could have also been that. And I feel like they kind of missed out on that. And
well,
I
that
don't
is
think
what
it's-
1-2 Switch should
Nintendo
have
Land
been.
was a
1-2 Switch should have been
6.5,
good.
and it should have been a freaking 10.
Nintendo Land was like a
like the
7.5.
The Gunslinger game was that example of like, oh man, this is cool, but you wanted like more than just that. Like I really enjoyed that game. That was it.
I want the
Everything
Kirby
else sucked.
Superstar of Nintendo franchises.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Fran, you got another one?
I got many other ones, but I gotta choose. I'm gonna throw it out there because I know we're gonna miss it because the show's probably getting late. Phantasy Star Online. Okay, I know that we're getting
we
two
just
brought
not-
over here. What?
I was gonna say, did we just not get one, or do we not have
Technically,
one
it's
on
a
there?
Very
decade
confusing.
old.
Okay, fair.
It's like, yeah, almost a decade old Phantasy Star Online 2. I'm saying a proper, full-fledged Phantasy Star Online sequel, not this we're bringing Phantasy Star Online 2 to the West. And like,
But
total,
isn't that the best case scenario? Just bringing the one people like here. and
that's
make
what they're
it work?
doing, which I know.
'Cause don't
no.
you think that like games have, especially online games, have just progressed so much that like
That's the point, and they need to make that. That's what I'm saying. Phantasy Star Online 3, the proper PSO 3, a big,
You're
huge
thinking-
investment.
Are you thinking more like a more Destiny-like PSO?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, if you were to take the world of that, give it, you know, not only the Destiny treatment, the Final Fantasy 14 treatment, make it big is all I'm saying, and really treat it with the respect I think it deserves. Style of those games is so cool. I only played Phantasy Star Online. I never really had a chance to get into too. So I'm excited that it's coming to the West still, right? I mean, they announced that last year.
The
There
beta was
that
like 2
trailer.
weeks ago.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Because it's an old game. It falls right under your radar. So I want a proper new one. I mean, the swords are just gigantic. Like, you can't not love that game. The style is so cool, man. What more do you need?
Like,
What more can I say?
I was
Think of
looking
the
right
cover
at you,
art.
Fran, and you said that so earnestly and
It's
sincerely
true.
that
I
I was
love it.
like,
They're
I
freaking
freaking
awesome.
love
That
it,
was
man.
like one of the best things in that game. The swords.
I want to read a couple from the audience that
Ooh,
you
I
guys
like
you
this.
guys submitted here on patreon.com.
as long as Barrett's not one of these audience members.
I mean, once you're done reading those, I got a couple to throw
No.
out that
we know
I am actually.
Arkham.
Donkey Kong 64.
Any day
now.
Diddy
Any day
Kong
now.
Racing.
All right, you want me to throw my 3 out? Earthworm Jim. None of you fucking brought up.
they're making a new
Good.
one.
Are they?
Yes. Well, supposedly.
Should they?
No.
Yes.
Earthworm
What's your
Jim's
next
not
one?
as good as you think.
That
Go back and
was
play it.
straight
That
up.
first level is amazing. Everything out of that first level is dog shit.
I played the second one like 5 years ago. Holds up. Earthworm Jim, Bully, and let's get an actual fucking real Tony Hawk's game back.
Dude, I'd love it more than anything.
I have
More than
spoken.
anything. Tony
right.
Hawk,
What's
man.
our Patreon people have to say?
Let's see. We got
Those are actually good picks.
Lee Polero.
I love
Snowboard Kids needs to come back. It had 2 games out on the N64, and they were stupidly fun. It had the chaos and items of Mario Kart with unique characters and a fun story mode. It won't come back or even be remastered, but still wishing.
There was a DS one that I don't think was great,
Was
but
there?
it did exist.
DS is so weird.
DS
like-
had like a million fucking
I'm wi-
games, and people
yeah.
remember 30.
I'm
And
willing
How
to
did
bet
Diddy
that was
Kong
some-
Racing come out on DS? That's so bizarre.
Rare themselves made it. Like
It's so fucking weird.
It wasn't that they
being
gave
owned
permission
by
to port it.
Microsoft. Like
Yeah.
what? How?
Must have been like the final obligation before they crossed over, right?
No, it was legit. Like
years later.
they talked about it. It's like, oh yeah, Nintendo asked, and we're like, sure.
That's super weird.
It is
Yeah, it's
strange.
really
Yeah.
weird. Let's see. Gage Luke says, for this week's topic of old franchises needing a revisiting, I'd like to submit Bungie West's game, Oni.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
This action game would be an excellent property for Microsoft and Xbox to revamp. The core gameplay loop entailed going through levels with a combo of third-person shooting and beat-em-up mechanics. Toward the end of the level, you'd fight a boss character hand-to-hand, and in doing so, learn their moveset, similar to fighting game character mechanic differences. I would love to see this concept in a truly next-gen form. Complex hand-to-hand fighting style gameplay mixed with epic cyberpunk / Ghost in the Shell style storylines. Pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
Who owns it? Would Microsoft own that?
No, I think that
Would Bungie
still
retain ownership?
Well, good question. It always depends on who published and what the deal was, right? Like,
I mean, Microsoft
some-
brought back fucking Voodoo Vince. Like,
Yeah.
they could bring back Oni.
Oni.
Voodoo Vince. Yeah.
Is that what we're talking
From-
about right now?
Yeah.
from
That was
Bungie.
on my list.
Oh, really?
yeah?
Yeah, Oni was
This
on
is
my
from
list.
the
Gage
Patreon.
Luke on Patreon.
Oh, wait, are we in the post show?
No, it's not post
Oh,
I'm just
gotcha.
like bouncing around here. He also says honorable mention to F-Zero.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I was
that
gonna say
on
F-Zero, but it's
Tim
so
Gettys' list. I'm
obvious.
pretty
Did you
sure.
guys play Oni?
No,
No.
actually,
Yeah,
never have.
never
The
had
game
the
was not that
chance.
great.
But you want it back.
Yeah, no, that game was cool. Like the style of it was really cool. It was like a
2001
very
though, I mean.
anime. It was like a third-person shooter. It was very early PS2, and so it was kind of rough. But I could see it. I could see that game making a return and
Well,
being
the style's
decent.
right.
What was that Microsoft shooter that came out very early in the Xbox? Like Brutal
Force?
Brute Force. That was it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Bring that thing back.
No, that was a bad game.
No, bring back all the shitty ones and make them.
That was
good.
Make him good, man.
If they ruined Perfect Dark, they need to make
Wait,
up for
Brute
it
Force
somehow.
was the one with like the dinosaur character,
Yes.
reptile dude, and So I actually remember there was the guy previewing at IGN previewed it and was like raving, and I was like super busy, didn't get a chance to really look into it, and we all bought it and we land up the house with the Ethernet connection, got all the consoles hooked together because you couldn't go online. It was like, we gotta play co-op, it's amazing, and we played like a few levels, and all I remember is like leaning out of my room to like my roommates being like, are you guys actually liking this? And they're like, and like literally it had come off of it was supposed to be like a godsend, like
Killer
co-op
app,
game.
yeah.
The thing you're
it was
describing
nuts.
is the experience I had with Brink.
Oh, really? Sorry.
I'm like, we were all super hyped for it, and we started playing. I was like, this
It was
is
like,
not
oh
that-
no.
this is not that
You know another
great.
game I felt that way with? Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh,
Just
wow.
kidding.
Yeah.
Still
No,
good,
that's
not
true.
great though.
I'm with you though. Jamaican Hopscotch, bless. Speaking to both of our hearts here with some real good shit.
Yeah.
And he's adding some like extra shit. There's some asterisks that I'm like, I'm here for it.
Okay.
The Street Sports franchise should be brought back.
That was one of mine.
I played the hell out of NFL Street, NBA Street,
Yeah.
and Street Volume 2.
Yep.
I've always thought, here's the crazy thing, I always thought it'd be super cool if they used Marvel or DC characters and made it in a similar vein to Mario Super Strikers.
Whoa.
Yes! I love all of that. Mario Super Strikers on my list, NBA Street on my list.
Yeah, Mario Super
You add some
Strikers.
fucking Marvel characters? Yeah,
It's a
baby.
basketball game, though. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
I'm like
Well,
lost
I mean,
in all
any
the...
of them.
Like Iron
Meaning,
Man.
what do you do? Do you all of a
Iron
sudden
Man
start fighting? Or are we doing
D'ing
that
up
too?
Hulk
Like-
on the
No,
court.
no,
I
no,
legit
no.
like a thing where the Thanos just snaps and like half the team goes away.
That'd be awesome.
yeah,
You snap the other team just disappears for like 30 seconds, and he has to
Love
snap.
it.
snap
Love
back.
it.
Magneto pulls the hoops off the...
Fuck yeah. Let's get crazy.
I just wrote down EA Sports big titles. Like
Yeah. Bring back big.
bring
Make
back
it bigger,
EA,
man.
EA Sports big.
We
I
agreed
just-
on that.
We're
Where is it?
imagining Magneto dribbling a ball, and for some reason that's the funniest fucking thing in the world.
I love it, dude.
D up for the mutants. Like
And then last one we read here is Colton Nestler. Says, has Rockstar forgotten about Midnight Club?
Yes.
Everyone wants to look back at bully and table tennis with rose-colored glasses.
Barrett.
Table tennis. Like,
What a shout out.
holy sure.
Whoa.
But Midnight
Bully
Club-
fucking holds up. Don't pull this rose-tinted glasses with Bully. Fuck that.
yo,
person.
if we want to talk about overrated, listen. I like Bully. Bully is awesome. Bully's great,
You
but
started
we
with
hype it up
Kennedy.
way too much, y'all. Let's all calm
Tim,
down. guys.
I'm
it was
throwing
really
something
good
out there.
'cause, like-
We got a fire blessing. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules.
At the time Bully came out, it was this very interesting thing of like, oh, everyone thinks it's going to be like a school bully, a
Yeah.
school shooting simulator or whatever. It should not be like a fairly wholesome-ish game that was like, okay, it's actually a nice story. Granted, the main character's a bit of a psychopath,
Yeah.
but
It was
In
no
all
state of
Rockstar
emergency.
games,
Yeah.
that's-
He was like 14. You know, what are you gonna do?
I mean, what was
Kids.
it? He took some pictures of a girl in the shower and then
Well,
took them down and then
yeah.
used that to make out with her. And I was like, that's not sure I like that.
Wouldn't fly today.
Let's go around the
Flawed
table.
protagonist.
One more from each of us. Bless.
Oh man, the pressure. Oh man, where do I go from here?
You're saying that like sarcastically?
No, I'm saying that
Okay.
seriously. I don't know where to go from here. All right, I think I know which one I'm going with. This is what my list looks like. Imran.
There's a lot of good stuff on this list.
Right?
There's a lot of good stuff on that list.
I'm gonna say Mirror's Edge, and I know it came back with Catalyst in 2015 or 2016.
Yeah.
Catalyst was not good.
Was it 2016?
It wasn't...
I want to say it was like 2013.
No.
No, 2014.
I
Must
was,
have been after, because we were kind of funny already.
yeah, and I was,
Okay.
and I was. I
Yeah,
was
it
living
wasn't
in
that
Seattle.
long ago.
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago they came back with Catalyst, and Catalyst wasn't that great.
Stop, it was not bad. It just
It wasn't
didn't live up
bad.
to
It
the
wasn't
hype.
Mirror's Edge.
It was like a strong like 6.5.
I've
and-
always, you know...
Yeah, it didn't live up to the first Mirror's Edge,
thought
which I was
better
playing
than
recently, and I was like, man, this game they could bring back this game.
Yeah.
Like this game could
6.5.
work, and I think the issue with Catalyst was one, the open world wasn't great. Like the actual open world kind of sucked because it felt like the world wasn't really made with free running in mind for what this game was. Like
Yeah.
it was made with free running in mind from like a broad sense of like, oh yeah, you can mantle on things, but it wasn't tailored to your skills in a way that made traversing that world fun and interesting. And so I think like even get rid of the open world. Like everybody asked for the open world after Mirror's Edge. Tried it, didn't work. Get rid of it. Make another linear Mirror's Edge. I'm playing Dying Light right now, and I'm enjoying it for the most part. But one of the things that I'm noticing as I'm playing it is that as far as the free running mechanics, I prefer Mirror's Edge like way more.
Oh, man, yeah.
I like that Mirror's Edge felt smooth. It felt like you knew your options because of the way things were highlighted. You felt like you had a lot more maneuverability as far as how the slide felt, how quick the mantle was, how like when you do your leap off of objects. I don't know what that was called, but
Oh, yeah.
you know, when you
Bounce.
did like the bounce move or whatever that thing was, right? Like all the options there in terms of movement felt natural, and I feel like I haven't played a parkour game since that would say lives up to that standard of free running elements, with the exception of maybe Apex, but in that game you're like a super hero basically. And
Yeah,
so-
I really give EA credit for finally bringing that back, because that's one of those games you would ask for forever and assume they're never going to do it. But DICE was passionate about it, and they gave it to us, and it was
They
a
gave it
huge
to us,
risk.
and they're not going to do it again. Which
There was
is-
somebody
no.
probably at that, executive board being like, I told you guys, like,
Yeah.
we should have never done this. And it didn't sound like, I do think that's a shame, but
Wasn't the main villain in Catalyst Andrew Wilson? Like, they didn't call him Andrew Wilson, but he looked exactly like Andrew Wilson.
But
I don't remember the story
To-
in Catalyst. That's how bad it was.
to dig into the point, I love that franchise. I was one of those people. I actually think it's better than 6.5. Like let's call it a 7.5
Catalyst?
or yeah.
All right.
At its core, the thing is it
Some
nails
double
all the
dash.
things you're talking about better, so much better than everything else. And for me, it was actually a racing game. Like the time trial stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Shortcutting. That was freaking so much fun. Unfortunately, right? That's like only so much to do, and that's where they struggled with Mirror's Edge. So, like, I don't know where I'd bring it, but as long as they don't screw that up,
Yeah.
I'm totally down for that. More online racing elements, like, between players. And, like, I think you could race each other's ghosts.
Yeah,
But I would
believe you
love
can.
to just, race side by side. Like,
The sucky thing is, whenever I tried racing people's ghosts, the ghosts would just like glitch through the world somehow. Like they would have figured out ways to kind of
stuff would happen for sure. You're like,
stuff
wait,
would
what
happen.
just
It's like-
happened?
It's like, how'd you get here in 5 seconds? That place
Yeah.
is 30 seconds away.
But sometimes those were the shortcuts. They would do this stuff. But anyway.
A Mirror's Edge that's more like Forza Horizon actually might make a lot of sense.
Oh my god!
Well, I'm not pitching that.
My heart, it hurts.
What I want to say, they do need to figure out like the actual combat, and that needs to be brought into like a super solid.
I think that game should have no combat.
The
I think
combat in Catalyst sucked. The combat in Mirror's Edge 1 was serviceable, but
there was like
that-
one
it's
point where you had
never
to
worked
shoot people, but other than that, it was.
Like, it
yeah,
needs to
in
be-
Catalyst they took out the guns in Catalyst, they took out you being able to use a gun in Catalyst, and
yeah.
there was a lot of fist to fist combat, and that stuff did not work. Like the
like-
combat
Yeah,
in Catalyst, I
that's the
thought
thing.
was
Like you shouldn't ever have to be
nonsensical.
in combat. Combat should be how do I get past this guy? Does it
Yes.
mean like sliding under him or sliding over him?
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Yes.
think it should come up a lot though. Yeah, as part of the world. Like I could see like Doom style, like super exaggerated dismantling someone to get past them. And,
Yeah.
like, but you need a lot of that to break up this action.
And
of
Mirror's,
just
I feel like
running.
Mirror's Edge, the first one, figured a lot of that stuff out. You did have to pick up a gun at some points, which
Yeah.
they shouldn't have done.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it didn't feel great.
like
when
for
you
the
did.
most part, as far as how combat situations would arise in Mirror's Edge 1, like yeah, you would Mirror's Edge 1 enemies would do the thing where they're about to hit you, and then the gun would highlight red, and you would press triangle, and you would counter them, and it'd be like this quick, like you get their gun from them and push them away, that kind of thing, and that kind of thing works. But Mirror's Edge Catalyst definitely tried to do a lot more that game just wasn't made for. Like they dropped the ball in multiple areas while making that game in a way where if you make another Mirror's Edge, I think you can still make another excellent one that comes out in 2020, that comes out like in a modern time that works, that abandons like a lot of the baggage that Catalyst kind of brought to it, and just makes something that's simple, something that's easy, something that's quick. And even if it is like an open world Forza Horizon thing where you are competing with online players for a time and stuff like that, I think even that would be an incredible experience.
Yeah.
Imran.
So my franchise is kind of like a bunch of franchises under like a coalition banner, but they need to bring back the Disney afternoon stuff.
Oh,
Like the old day of Capcom making
Interesting.
those like Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Like I think yesterday Capcom put the DuckTales remastered game.
Yeah.
Which is not great necessarily, but I liked it because I like that old game.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
It has the moon theme.
They
That's all
put
you need.
They put it back on the digital stores. I think Disney should like lean into that sort of thing.
John Drake, baby. He has
What-
to make it happen.
Let's call John Drake right now and demand it.
Yeah, I think he knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a great thing, man. I would love to see just fun licensed platformers
Yeah.
that are like using the elements that the different IP can allow them and just really have fun with it. You know, it doesn't need to be like a tie-in to movies and stuff. It's just like, no, fuck it. It would be cool if there was a new DuckTales game.
Yeah. Have you watched the DuckTales cartoon?
I've not, but it's amazing. from
So,
what I hear.
like the most recent season and the next season as well, they're really leaning into Disney afternoon stuff. So there's like Tailspin characters and all that sort of thing. Like Darkwing's a pretty major part of that series now. I would love to just do one of those games, like make a DuckTales game that just has all these characters, has its
So
own play
cool.
styles. Like it's so right for at least re-exploring what they did in the NES era, if not just making new ideas.
Imran, really quick, how dope was it when they did the Three Caballeros?
It was so fucking cool. Have you seen the poster for season 3?
No.
Look it up when you get a chance.
Okay,
It
I will.
looks so cool.
I love it. Love it. Fran.
I got a good one for you, Tim.
Yeah?
You're gonna like it.
Hit me
I hope I don't
hard.
get this wrong, because I was really underwhelmed by that Half-Life comment earlier. Anyway, Super Mario RPG. Full on. Now we got our Kingdom Hearts, we've got Paper Mario even, but like I'm saying,
Even Paper Mario though.
and Paper Mario
yeah,
too.
Paper
is
Mario
rumored.
I had written down.
Yeah, that's on the list. Like, I feel like that's one's gonna happen. But a full-on, Super Mario RPG, right, was inspired. Well, actually, it was developed by Square, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what we need again, and we just
Gino.
need Super Mario RPG. It's a very simple formula. I can't imagine that I even need to pitch to you what it would be, right?
Yeah.
Just an amazing RPG with all these Nintendo characters, and I'm sure now you can even have some crossover stuff happening. Maybe you even have some Kingdom Hearts characters show
Mushroom
up.
Kingdom
Which
Hearts.
one is generally looked at
Mushroom
as
Kingdom Hearts, I love
superior
it.
between Paper Mario 1 and Super Mario RPG?
Which what?
Paper
Which
Mario
one is-
1
is-
or Paper Mario, like any Paper Mario game?
The Paper Mario for
Paper Mario is a better game. Like I
Like
mean,
for
I
N64.
don't even remember. Super Mario RPG was just so long ago. Like
think
it was
Here's the thing.
good to
Super
have,
Mario
but it didn't
RPG is
blow
a
anybody's like
classic.
mind.
It's amazing. No, it's legit. I fucking love when this happens. Super Mario RPG.
Holy
there
crap.
we go.
It's like concept art for it.
No,
It's Orioto's. Yeah.
same shit we always have. But anyways, that game was amazing. When Paper Mario came out, everyone was so mad that it wasn't a sequel to
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario RPG, and it was like, fuck this stuff. But then Paper Mario was
Then
like,
you're
oh,
like,
this is
this is
pretty
a cool
good.
game.
Because
Yeah.
I play Paper Mario and I love Paper
But
Mario.
then,
Then they did
Thousand Year Door, which was like, oh,
Thousand Year Door, I
Fuck
think, is still the
everything.
best game in the series.
this is what we want. And then they just were like, nope,
Yeah,
let's
here's
go with
Super Paper Mario.
It's like this,
Yeah,
this, and
let's
zzz,
just-
left turn.
Yeah.
Totally. And then there was
Y'all like
also
Paper Jam?
the Mario and Luigi franchise that popped up on GBA, which was good.
I really love 1
Yeah,
and 3.
yeah,
I think
that
And
was
those games are
solid, dude.
amazing.
It was very
But it
like
just
Paper
kept
Mario.
kept going. But it's
Yeah.
like we need a new
need
Paper
it.
Mario, man.
Both.
Like a new
Yeah.
core Paper Mario.
Paper Mario is rumored though right now, right?
It is.
So it's
There-
I
it's a rumor,
believe that it's
yes.
happening. That's why like
But
I
like,
had
will
it
it
on
be
my
a
list.
good one though? That's like the
Yes.
question.
That we won't know.
I strongly believe it will.
But I will say
Feel
Nintendo
good.
tends to respond to criticism pretty readily.
They do at about like a half a decade like delay. So yeah, we're
should be
doing a
about
great
where we're
Paper
like-
Mario game.
Yeah,
After
look,
Color Splash.
they're in a state where they actually canned the next Metroid and or they're fixing whatever went wrong with Metroid,
Yeah.
you know, and we have to wait. So hopefully that's how they're looking at a game like Paper Mario as well.
Yeah. The last one I'm gonna say. This one's it's not interesting. I've said this shit before, but I just want to see it, and I can't believe that we probably won't ever see this. It's just a Mario game, a 2D Mario game that's original. That's
The
it.
new games were original.
In 2006,
Oh,
it's 20.
You talking about
okay.
I want a 2D Mario game
like
that,
new Super Mario Brothers style or like
That's the opposite of what I'm saying. Like I want one that is not using that art style.
Okay.
How did we get Mario 1 to Mario 2 to Mario 3 to Mario World? Look at the art styles of those games. Look at how those
Oh,
games
okay.
built on themselves, right? Like how radically different ideas are in each one of those. And then we get to New Super Mario Brothers on the DS, and we've gotten 15 of those
Right, it just
goddamn
sticks with-
games.
I see.
They look exactly the same. Nothing really interesting being added to it. Sure, multiplayer. Sure, you can collect the coins or whatever the fuck.
Hey Tim, remember when you could turn into a cat though? It was pretty cool.
That was
I
cool.
Well,
do.
that was 3D World.
that's
But
So,
like,
like-
to me, like that's
Yeah.
the example of like, cool, you did something like that is branching off into a different
Yeah, that's
type
like
of
That's
Mario.
what they should have done for like New Super Mario Bros. U. It should have just been like the 2D part of Mario Maker 2 of 3D World. Like that should have been a hardly new 2D Mario game.
I would have been super down. Like, give me interesting mechanics we've never seen. But my thing is, we are now in an era where 2D platformers are a dime a dozen, and every indie developer's making amazing ones. Like in a world with Celeste,
Yeah.
it's like Mario. You kind of got to step your shit up, man.
I would honestly find it hard for a new Mario game to be as good as Tropical Freeze.
And I'm with you. And that's what I'm saying. Is I want Nintendo to be like,
take
no,
it,
no, no,
that's-
no. We need the crown for 2D platformers in 2020. I
feel like it's
and we got to do it. I want a new art style. I want it to look hella fucking
What
dope.
would you do
Okay,
if
now
during the next
I get
Nintendo
it.
Direct a logo pops on the screen? It's Super Mario Brothers 4.
I'd lose my shit. You know what I mean?
I would walk out the room.
I would
Like,
want them to
quit, I'm
name
out.
it something different because I kind of hate that. Like we're gonna go back and say this is the real Mario 4, like Sonic did. Like that's bullshit.
And Sonic 4 sucks.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
But it's like I want to see a new Mario with like every aspect getting as much love as Mario 3 did. You know?
Yeah, dude, I'm totally with you now that you're saying it. It's weird because the more I think about it, I almost feel like this accessibility of the brand, it's become like this cornerstone of like, hey, like it's another Mario game and it's fun for the whole family and it's still really good, but like we're not taking any risks because it's Mario
But
2D.
at some point, we I mean,
I'm
we were
with
talking
you,
about this
though,
earlier
which
about
is-
Smash Brothers, where it's like each one kind of has its own identity.
Yeah.
But it's like with Mario, just visually, at some point, we hit the level where they can make Mario look how they want Mario to look, and he's looked like that. He is now like hit the way that he is designed is how you're going to see him in every game because he's Mario and like that cartoonish like. In the same way that every Pixar character looks the same and every Disney character looks the same, every Mario character looks the same.
They're way more experimental with Zelda art style at this point.
That's
Like,
what I was just
I would
about to
love
bring up,
something that looks kind of like Link's Awakening, like that same toy aesthetic for a Mario game. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
Like,
that'd be
Yoshi,
really
like they just fucked our Yoshi is now a home craft art style. Like that's his thing now.
Yeah,
But
the
so
yarn.
that's my thing. It's like the yarn stuff, all that. Like even look at Yoshi's Island with like the storybook and like the crayon
Crayons,
look
yeah.
and stuff. It's like, dude, there's so much potential. Do something unique like that with Mario again.
I think Nintendo was just overly safe. Like this is a larger conversation, but like Nintendo is very overly safe with certain properties, and Mario is one of them.
I feel like 3D Mario doesn't have as much of a problem as 2D Mario because the jump between 64 to Sunshine to Galaxy to Odyssey, those games do have differences in them. Granted, the art styles are somewhat similar between them, but
we've only had a couple of
we
those.
only had a few of
over
those.
20 years.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Maybe-
3D Mario I feel like has figured it out a bit as far as like making these games actually feel like they're different games.
Yes.
Maybe you already figured it out, which is how they've been giving away some of their franchises for people to work on. Give it to the Celeste developers and be like,
Oh my
make
God.
it. Because problem solved. Because I'm
love
sure
that.
they would do an amazing thing with it that, and it even makes more sense because they're doing it.
Also, give
I love
Earthbound to Toby Fox. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that has been the Kinda Funny Games cast. Stay tuned for the Patreon exclusive post show if you are a Patreon Silver member. If you're not, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunnygames to sign up to get this post show. But until then, peace.